live. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Praise the mighty YAH. Today's first portion of Sabbath services here at the house of Yehuda. Minister and student here, Michael Yisrael, Minister Michael Yisrael. And it is an honor and a privilege to come before the great congregation of the children of Israel, the children whom Yahweh chose to be his own, to be his children, to be his son, to be his wife. It is an honor to come before the great congregation and to edify Yahweh. Go through a few things. Praise Yah. I would first like to open up with the song, Let Us Face the East, for the reading of our Psalms and for the reading of our commandments. Psalm 93 and verse 1 reads, Yahweh reigneth. He is clothed with majesty. I'm pretty sure people online, like, Brother Mike, yeah, you're going too fast. You slow down. You gotta rush. Psalm 93. Yes, ma'am. Praise Yahweh. It says, Yahweh reigneth. He is clothed with majesty. Yahweh is clothed with strength wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also established that it cannot be moved. Thy throne is established of old, thou art from everlasting. The floods have lifted up, O Yahweh, the floods have lifted up their voice. The floods lift up their waves. Yahweh on high is mightier than the noise of many waters, yea, than the mighty waves of the sea. Thy testimonies are very sure. Holiness becometh thy house, O Yah, forever. Let us now turn to the book of Exodus 20 and read 10 commandments. Let's read them together. Exodus 20, starting at the very first verse, it reads, And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yah, thy Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Elohims before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yah, thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yah, thy Elohim, in vain, for Yah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, and to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yah, thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yah giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah. You may be seated. Todah Yah. Shema Yisrael, Yah Eloheinu, Yah Echad. Hear, O Israel, Yah Eloheinu, Yah is one. Abba, Nawa, Shabbat, Shemayim, Kodesh, Hayah, Yah, Yahad. Our Father, which art in heaven, holy be Yah. Yah is one. Praise Yah. Yah is clothed with strength. He rests his promise upon his people. His words are truth. He can call the wind to prophesy of his coming. The waters bow to his command. His hands measure the span of time. I am only because he is Elohim. Praise Yah. All right. I have an opening question for a lot of us just to ponder on and think about. And Yah will, I'm going to come back to it if time permits. The question is, what will it take for us to stop sinning? Real, nothing too deep, too profound. Just a general question. You know, I think most of us, we remember Zebulon, young man, years ago.
Yeah.
He had created he had a calendar, and he took his calendar and he wrote down, he said, he created this calendar, he's going to write down every day that he doesn't sin. And it came under attack. It came under attack. And the reason being is because as it was brought out, you know, scriptures, you know, no man can't sin. Every man sin. Everybody sin. But I fought as if because the one thing that I don't think people were doing was going up to him and asking him, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. So I asked him, I said, brother, what you talking about? What is this? And he broke it down to me. He understood the fact of, yes, we live in an unclean land and that we're going to sin. Yes, that's the truth. But the purpose of the calendar that he had, I think it was just a regular calendar, he wrote down he didn't do presumptuous sin. Mm-hmm. See, it wasn't explained that way. But then when it was explained, I understood what he was saying. So it is possible for us in captivity to not sin. Or is it? To not presumptuously sin, I should say. Because there are secret things that go on that we know nothing about. Most of us wear shoes. I'm going to throw some things out there. When it comes to shoes, I love shoes. I like looking nice, or at least looking decent. And one pair of shoes that I really like, that I'm really starting to like, they're kind of expensive, but it's worth it because of what they use. I like Uggs. So I wear Uggs. I have some Uggs. So, and that's because when I did research when I looked them up, so to speak, the only leather they use is lambskin. Eastland is another brand of shoe that I really like. Lambskin. I don't know if they might have changed it, but I just recently, almost like yesterday, looked up Ugg and what they use. And I looked up the word Ugg, and it's not the name of a god. Skechers has a brand of shoe that's vegan. I saw that the other day when I went out. They have a brand of shoe, and they're made to be comfortable, but they're vegan. So I'm throwing these out there because if I find something, then y'all willing, I want to start letting you know. Like Sister Dawn let me know about belts. I was like trying to find belts. And a lot of things are made from genuine leather. So I looked up and I was doing some research on leather. And what I saw about genuine leather is that genuine leather is a cheaper version. Even though you could go and buy a pair of shoes made from genuine leather and spend up to maybe $200. But, well, I take that back. A lot of your more expensive shoes use cow and like cow and lamb. Now, you do have some that use pig, so you have to be kind of careful with that. But when you're looking at leather, and the reason I'm saying this is because there is a way to where we don't have to be presumptuous in our sinning, and we can do the best that we can. Because when it gets down to the glue and all that, we could still be sinning. Even though the leather is clean, how is it bound? How is it binded? So there was a belt that I had. She told me about this place to get belts that's made out of cowhide. I went, bought one, love it. And I'm naming these stores so you can go out and get them. Target has a line of leather belts that are stretchy, but it's not made from leather. It's a synthetic material. It's not made from animal. All right, and they come in black and brown are the colors, and it's a stretchy belt, and it's not made from any animal. Okay, and it'll, when you get the belt, you'll see it. It'll say synthetic on the belt. It's not made from leather. So those are a couple places where you can go, or a couple items you can go and purchase certain items or certain things. And the reason that I'm using that is because, as my brother had did some years ago, he wrote down in the calendar, he said, hey, these are the days I didn't presumptuously sin. Even though he didn't explain it that way, nonetheless, sometimes you just got to go and talk to people before you condemn them. Because you have to realize, you have to ask them, like, okay, well, before I come at you, or before, not even I come at you, before I address your ideology, give me a clear understanding of what it is. And sometimes that's what it takes. So the question is, what will it take for us to stop sinning? What will it take? And the scripture I want to meditate on, turn to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18. I think we all know the verse. But let's turn to Ezekiel chapter 18. In the book of Ezekiel chapter 18, I just want to read two verses. And that's verse 21 and 22. It says, but if the wicked turn from all his sins or her sins, and that he or her hath committed, and keep all my statutes, and do that which is lawful and right, he or she shall surely live, he or she shall not die. All his or her transgressions that he or her hath committed, they shall not be mentioned unto him or her. And his or her righteousness that he or her hath done, he or her shall live. So in other words, man, you turn away from your wickedness, and all your transgression that you have done shall not be mentioned. So I say that to say, is it possible for us? Is it possible for us to not sin presumptuously, even though we're in captivity? So that's the thought that I wanted to sort of go into. All right. Now, let's turn to the book of Exodus, chapter 14. Now, the book of chapter 14, of course, we're out of Egypt at this point. And this is a chapter where we're paused. In a sense, we're right there at the river, we're right there at the large bodies of water, the Red Sea. We're right there at it. We're right at the Red Sea. And I'm going to start at verse number 1. It says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, and then I'll explain why I'm reading this. Speak unto the children of Israel that they turn and encamp before Pithorah, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-Zephon, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. And excuse me for mispronouncing those words. It says, for Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness have shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am Yah, and they did so. So it was Yahweh. What we have to understand, and what I understand, is that Yahweh is the one that pulls all the cards. He's the one that controls all the pieces of the chessboard. Yahweh is the one that sets in order and sets in motion the things to be. So he hardened Pharaoh's heart. He did. Pharaoh probably couldn't understand why he felt the way he did. Could you imagine Pharaoh sitting there like, man, you done brought bugs. You know, I mean, my land has been basically destroyed. That my livestock is gone. Half of my staff is gone. My mother survived, but I mean, but dang. I survived. My firstborn's gone though. All this destruction has befallen me. I'm a modern city with mighty strongholds, but yet I'm still persuaded in my spirit to go after a nation of people who themselves is the reason why my land is destroyed. But something in me still wants me to get them. Verse 5 says, and it was told of the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? Now, that's why in the scriptures it also reads that the leader has caused the people to err. Look at this. Pharaoh's heart is turned. Pharaoh's heart is turned against the people because the people, when Pharaoh's heart was turned against the people, it may have sparked something in them. Because everybody that was in Egypt during the time of the Passover, when y'all passed through the land of Goshen and into Egypt, they lost firstborn too. Everything is blamed on them. The reason that this is happening is because of those darn Israelites. Them dang Israelites. They are the ones that caused all this. They're the ones, the reason why my son is dead, why my daughter is dead. They're the reason why I lost all this money. They're the reason why my livestock is gone. They're the ones that caused my wife to have these boils and brought all this hell upon my house. Get them. Let's get them. In verse 6 it says, and he made ready his chariot and took his people with him, took his army with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, And he pursued after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel went out with him with a high hand. Now, mind you, Israel, our forefathers, they didn't leave out empty-handed. Matter of fact, it wasn't just Israelites that left out with them. Some of them amongst the Israelites were Egyptians. They left too with the Israelites. They left. So it was a mixed multitude that left. And they didn't leave empty-handed. Matter of fact, it talks about how the Egyptians spoiled the Israelites, spoiled our forefathers, giving them the gold or the riches of the land and was like, get out, just go. Just go. So that maybe we can have some peace back. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart because Yahweh wanted to show Pharaoh, I'm Elohim. When I sent Moses to my people and stood there and told them that and told Moses that if the people ask who you are, tell them I am sent you. That I am sent you. I want you to understand, Pharaoh, that there is no Elohim. There's no power that can stand against me. So he hardened Pharaoh's heart. And he pursued after in verse 8, the latter part of verse 8. It says that he pursued after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel went out with a high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pithiroth, before Baal-Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes And behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto YAH. Imagine you thinking you home free. You thinking you home free. And by the way, I believe this is during the nighttime. We'll read further to see. You, all it is the Egyptians, you, and this large body of water. So they looked, and what caused them to look? You ever heard, you probably haven't, but you ever heard the thing about, if you ever heard 1,000 horses, 1,000 chariots? I'm just throwing a number out there. You probably had more. That's what you hear. It causes the ground to shake. It can cause the ground to shake. Sounds like almost like maybe an earthquake. And then you hear the war cries as they're coming towards, because they're coming toward Israel with full force of anger. So yeah, if you was there during that time, you would look up and be like, "Oh, Yahweh, what's going on? Help us." But I'm gonna tell you, but let's continue reading on what actually happened. So they look up and they cry out to Yahweh. And in verse 11 of Exodus 14, it says, "And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt?" You see how we work? Let's forget about the fact that, these great feats happened and we were delivered out of Egypt, out of oppression, out of rigor. The first sign of distress, we curse the hand that fed us, in a sense. Yah used Moses. When you look at the prophets, every prophet had a purpose. When Yah chose Moses, Yah knew who he was choosing. Most of us will cuss out people and it don't even be the multitude that's there. It could be two people in the room. Let them say something out of order. We already cussing them out and ready to fight. But Moses had a multitude of people that were coming at him. Man, you brought us out here to die. In verse 12, it says, "Is not the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone? Didn't we say, leave us alone, Moses? We were okay being beaten. We were okay serving this man and working to the sweat of our brow and dying and falling dead while we're trying to build these pyramids for this man. We are happy here in America. We're happy here in Egypt. We are ecstatic. We got cable. We have flat screen TVs. My children all have every Jordan that come out. So what if the police are taking our lives? I mean, I'm happy. Do they got a Burger King in the wilderness, Moses? Huh? Moses? Huh? Can I get some turkey tips in the wilderness? Do they have Charmin toilet paper? Sir. Dang it, Moses, we told you, leave us alone. Quit bothering us with this. I don't want to go nowhere. But nonetheless, here we are, about to die. Thanks, Moses. That's exactly how the people looked. But it didn't stop Moses. Why didn't it stop Moses? Because Moses was motivated and disciplined. If Moses just went on motivation, did not apply desire and discipline, he would have easily been like, you know what, I'm going to let you ends die. I'm through. I'm going back to Egypt. I'm going to cross the river. But he didn't, because not only was he motivated, he had the desire to fulfill whatever it was y'all needed for him to do, and he had the discipline. It says, let us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. Didn't we say that? Let us just serve them. Yes, they beating us and doing all these horrendous things to us, but just leave us alone. Sound like the same thing that the house Negro would say. When the field Negro would come up to him and say, listen, I got a plan for us to be free. What does the house Negro say? Nigga, are you crazy? Master good to us. Master feed us. Master clothe us. Master give us shoes. Master good to us. We ain't gonna leave this good master. Matter of fact, I'll go tell master that you trying to leave, nigga. I hope master hang you, hang your family, because master been good to us. House Negroes. That's who we were. House Negroes. So it says here, shalom, family. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. I like that church. But that's what happened. Right now we're in the book of Exodus chapter 14. I started at the first verse and now we're at verse number 12. Now, mind you, the Egyptians are coming. And now it's Israel and a mixed multitude, and you got the Egyptians here, this mighty army, and you got this big body of water. And in verse 12, that's the one thing that happened with us, with our forefathers, is they became afraid. So they say, let us alone. They told Moses, didn't we tell you leave us alone? Didn't we tell you leave us alone, Moses? We want to serve the Egyptians. Then it says here in the latter part of verse 12 that we should die in the wilderness. So what they're saying is, we told you leave us alone. Now you're about to have us die out here in this damn wilderness. Thanks, Moses. Thank you, sir. Let's forget about the fact that you've been delivered out of bondage. Let's forget about that fact that you're going home. You're going home. But the people, that's why I asked my question earlier, and I'm going to ask again. What will it take for us not to sin? Because I'm going to tell you, let's think about it. Yahweh was present with our people. They heard him talk. And still, Moses, why would you do this to us? Look at what we told you, leave us alone. You know how much discipline it took Moses to keep going? Man, verse 13, it says, and Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will shew to you today. Moses say, be still, hush, stop your murmuring. Yahweh got this. Trust in him. Moses always looked out for us, for our forefathers, always. You ever been around somebody that talk too dang on much and you tell them, man, shut up, just be quiet. You see him reaching in his pocket, you don't know what he got, just stop talking. No, man, make me, man, if you don't shut up, humble yourself. Moses told him, like, listen, read again. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not. Stand still. Stop trembling over this army that's coming. Because what's coming can't stand against what you have. He said, be still. And see the salvation of Yahweh. The only way you're going to be able to see the salvation of Yahweh is if you still and you quiet. Even during tribulation. You cry out to Yahweh. But sometimes when you're crying out, you sit there and you quiet. You will see things because you're paying attention. You're paying attention. Which it says here in verse 13, and Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will shew to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. Just trust in me, just trust in Yahweh, trust in him. Didn't you see him deliver you out of their hands the first time? Verse 14, it says, Yahweh, Moses said, Yahweh shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. You know, there are some battles we don't have to fight. There are some battles we don't have to partake in. Did David draw his sword to every man he came across that might have talked against him? No, he didn't. But when he drew his sword, it was purposeful. That's one thing that I think helps keep us control of our spirit. There's some things you don't have to fight. But we're so used to war. We're so used to fighting. We're so used to arguing. We're so used to making sure that our point is heard that we forgot about the fact that Yah fights for us. I forgot about that. He fights my battles. He fights my battles. Because what Yah can do to an individual, me punching them in the mouth does not compare. Matter of fact, it'll make it worse for me. Now, I'm not talking about, and let me say this too, because I know sometimes Israel only hear half. Well, let me tell you, I'm not talking about protecting your family, protecting you. Somebody coming at you with a weapon or to hurt your family, you a dang fool to sit there and be like, I'm gonna be still. Yahweh gonna fight this for me. No, I'm gonna hold my peace while this man is attacking your family or attacking you. No, I ain't talking about that. I'll give you an example. You doing what you need to do for the Creator. And instead of somebody congratulating you on serving Yah, they find a problem with it. And they attacking you, and they attacking you, and they attacking you. Sometimes you just be like, Yah, fight my battle for me. I'm just gonna shut up. But it's in us to get back, isn't it? In some cases, that's in us to snap back. Because then you go home and you talk to yourself, I should have said this to him. Man, I should have cussed him out. Man, why didn't I think of that? Oh, that was cold. Oh man, I'm gonna start something so I can say it. Like, no, it's over now. Man. Let it go. Now it's over. It's over. The one brother, the Jehovah's Witness that I talked to, he said to me the other day, he was talking to me, he was like, yeah, brother, you just too aggressive. I said, yeah, I know you sound like something you would say. Yeah, you would say that. But Yah fights our battles. In verse 15, it says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I behold, I will harden the heart of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. I'm going to harden the Egyptians' hearts. I'm going to instill hatred in them towards you because I want to destroy them because of what they did to you. You, my son. In the book of Jeremiah 2 and 5, I always like to use that. Yahweh say, what iniquity have you found in me? What iniquity have you found in me that you've gone astray? In the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 8 talks about he loves us because he loves us. That's true love. Verse 16 reads, but lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thy hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get my honor upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots and upon his horses. And the Egyptians shall know that I am YAH, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. Now I'm going to stop right there. Read this whole chapter. There's like 30 verses. 31 verses. Read this whole chapter. I'm going to stop there because that's part of my testimonies. I open that up to testimony. When the people went through heck and they were standing there afraid, give a moment where YAH made a way for you, just as YAH made a way for our forefathers right there at the Red Sea. Name a time that he rescued you. Name that time, because how many of us have been put in peril and we did not put trust in Yahweh all the way? We shuddered. We were afraid. Fear is a natural part of being a human being, of course, but it's what we fear that gets us in trouble. That's what gets us in trouble. It's what we fear. The Almighty didn't say never fear, but he wants us to fear him. Let him be our dread. Fear sinning against him. Fear him. But what are some of the things that we fear? We fear death. We fear people. And we let that fear drive a wedge between us and the Creator. That's what we do. So during testimonies, I'm opening up. How did Yahweh make a way for you? Sister Don.
Trying to narrow it down and pick one. There've been so many. Why'd you go and change the standards of the testimony? Make it all difficult.
I didn't change the standard. I just wanted I want the people to hear how y'all deliver, like how you deliver your testimonies, how you give it. So how you give it. So let me say this. I don't want to dictate anyone's testimony. That's not my job.
Upon a time.
Yes, ma'am.
Prior to me meeting my wonderful, loving husband of today. I was in a relationship with somebody who in many ways I want to say I shouldn't have been in one with, but everything happens for a reason. Having said that, we were at the end of our time together, and he had been violent throughout the course of the relationship, and I got to a point where I was tired of dealing with it. I thought enough of myself to say, hey, I can do better than this. So at this time, this individual decides in his anger that he's going to take a sword and put it to my throat in an attempt to get me to do what it is that he wants me to do. And I literally stood there without fear, because at that moment I felt like whatever the Most High wanted to happen to me, that's what's going to happen. And to be able to feel that way, to be in tune with the Most High, to just not fear man, but put complete and absolute trust in the Most High, it is a peaceful feeling, a powerful feeling, knowing that there's nothing that I can physically do in this moment is completely out of my hands. And I think a lot of times we get in our own ways because we always feel like we have to do something. We have to be the arbiter of our solution. We have to bring change to this environment. And a lot of times we don't have to. All we have to do is just be. And in that moment of just being still and focusing, knowing that you don't have control over this situation, you have relinquished all of your control and supposed to Yahweh, that is the greatest strength of all. And I can stand here, sit here, and tell you that having lived through that situation. It was beyond my control. And when I relinquished that control, ironically, Yahweh took control of that situation and put me where I was supposed to be.
Hallelujah. If you were listening to that testimony, what happened was strength was relinquished from man's hands and restored to the Creator. And you notice something. I mean, if you ever read the Apocrypha, and I know people feel like, don't read them books. All we need is this here. And there's a point that I want to bring out about that too. Just a quick sidebar. You know how we just preach about how great this King James book is, right? How great of a book is it if it don't even carry our Father's name in it? Explain that to me. We want to talk about, man, you don't need nothing else but this. But this don't have our Father's name in it. His name is not Lord. His name is not God. Those are titles and those are attributes. His name is YAH. You can take me one place where his name is in the book of Psalms, 68:4. And that's not even right. His name ain't Jah. There were no J's in the Hebrew. So even that's tainted. But I'll tell you what is consistent is his laws. Is his laws. The testimonies in here are sure. But for me to say this book is perfect is not perfect. It has a lot of flaws. Starting with a book that's dedicated to my father, but don't even have his name in it. That was a side piece. Yes, ma'am.
In addition to my testimony, I want to say something else that I learned from that situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to instill fear in somebody, show that you got trust in the Most High. Because there is nothing more frightening to somebody who think they control and running something than the fact that you ain't scared of them. And it's not that it's because it's not you're not afraid of them because you feel like you can defeat them, but because you see and trust in something that's outside of them that they can't comprehend. It's going to make them cower in fear, or it's going to make them puff up their chest to the extent that they destroy themselves.
That's right. That's right. You want to see somebody you want to see an adult throw a temper tantrum? Take strength away from them.
Yep.
Take strength away from them. They come at you talking crazy. I'm gonna take your life. You like, take it. Y'all in control. Why you ain't scared? Why ain't you scared? Because Yahweh is my king. Why do you think in the book of Maccabees, the 12 sons, the woman had 12 sons. They started from the eldest and ended with the youngest, and then she eventually died. But think about it. Do you think the king had the fire lit because of anything other than he was throwing a temper tantrum? Light the fire harder. They don't want to eat of my meat. Come on, man, listen. Tell them to eat of my meat. I got turkey over here. It's chicken. Ain't all pork. Just tell them to eat because I'm the king and they ain't going to show me no respect if you don't eat. So in order to save face, I got to take your life. And that's what it is. What do you think happened to King Nebuchadnezzar, man? When he said, man, who wants to deliver you out of my hand? Who your God? Man, I'm God. What did the Almighty do to him? Turned him into a beast. He got home real quick, like, no, Yahweh, you are the Most High. I understand that now. I clearly got it. Please take me and eat this grass.
Can you imagine the Twitter feed?
Oh, boy. Could you imagine? Oh, we had cell phones back then. Is this King? Look at these. Look at him. Look at his nails. Look at him. He must be half Caucasian. All right. Anyone next? Just want to share in a testimony. Elder Yim.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I just want to share with everyone that by me trusting and believing and understanding that I am not in charge of me. I'm in charge of my actions, but I am not in charge of my life. You see what I'm saying? Because if I were in charge, I probably wouldn't be here to give this testimony. I'm responsible. I'm held accountable. But by me knowing who my creator is and knowing what's acceptable and what's unacceptable, because I am sincere, it guides me to make me use discretion, not to be so foolish. Now, am I a fool about something? Absolutely. Do I slip and fall sometimes? Yes. But what do? I get up, brush myself off, so to speak, and then I try to get myself together. I want to try and make myself better. But can I do it by myself? Absolutely not. So I go to YAH on a regular basis. Not just when I'm in trouble, not just when I'm fearful of something. No, I use YAH to help me. Well, I shouldn't say, well, he said call on him. So I call on him. That way I'm more encouraged because see, I love life and I want many days. So praise YAH for giving me that understanding. That don't be just trusting in yourself. Yeah, who are you in the grand scheme of things? He said, I made you. Yeah. I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. So the bottom line is, I thank YAH. I appreciate YAH. I love YAH for loving me enough to keep giving and extending to me his mercy. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. You know, praise Yahweh. Yahweh has parted the Red Sea for me for many, many years, even before I knew who he was. I've almost drowned. I've had a gun put to my face. Not that he was taking my life or nothing, but he was playing with it. He was like, look, yeah. And it didn't have a safety on it. So I've had it swung in my face. So I don't want nobody to think I was a thug. I wasn't. He was just being foolish. I done broke things on my body. Well, my arm. I done been sick in the hospital. I remember one time that I was laying in the hospital bed. This man, they thought they wanted to do surgery on me, and I was like, I don't want surgery on my throat. I don't. Came in the next day, and we ain't got to do surgery. I done been through anesthesia. I done went through 2 surgeries. That's big for me because I wasn't surgery. I've been through a few surgeries. Well, 2 surgeries where I was put under full anesthesia, of course, but they had to remend my arm, the bones in my arm, right, my forearm. Woke up from anesthesia. And I'm a big guy. Then I was bigger than I was now. And they could have overdosed me. I could have been through. They do that. Yes. They could do it because they'll figure like we're a big guy, he can take it. But that didn't happen because of Yahweh. And I think that a lot of times when he talks about when you sit on your couch and you meditate, if you need something to meditate on how Yahweh has parted the Red Sea for you. And how you were able to walk on dry ground. You were able to face disconnect notices. You were able to face certain medical diagnosis. You were able to face divorce or the threat of divorce. You were able to face hard times in your house. And then think about how you went through that fear. Pharaoh and his army represents everything you done been through in your life. And you're in the middle of it. And you looking up at Yahweh like, Yahweh, did you bring me this far to take me out? And then the Almighty brings out that Moses to say, put your staff in that water and part that Red Sea for this child. Because I want this child to know I'm going to do a work for them. I'm going to do a work for them. and they gonna see it. They gonna feel it. They gonna know it was me. They gonna know it was me that brought them through this. Praise Yah. Yes, ma'am.
First and foremost, I'd like to give our praises to the Almighty by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The Almighty has brought me through a lot of things, and I'm just going to go through a few things.
Yes, ma'am.
Back in 2010, I was diagnosed with cancer of the uterus. I was told there was 20 in the country, not the city, but the country. I had it removed, and they told me, said, well, you know, it's going to come back. You gotta get chemo, radiation. I did not do any of that. So far, it has not come back, thanks to the Almighty.
Praise Yah.
2 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm.
I had that part of it removed. They suggested I do radiation and chemo. I didn't do that either.
Mm-hmm.
So the Almighty has blessed me. And then the final thing, blessed me with the husband, YAH Israel. The Almighty took him it'd be a month on the 19th. And I thank him for blessing me with a strong man. Because when we first got married, I was just so young and so timid. I mean, let people walk over me and whatever. And I thank him for giving me a strong husband. It helped me to grow into to be a strong woman, to carry on his legacy and to help guide my family, to keep them on the right track. My grandson, just the other day, a 13-year-old boy was shot and killed. I have a 13-year-old grandson, and I thought about that. And that's because we try to raise him the right way in the laws of the Almighty. But if we had not been doing that, he might have been out there. He might have been that one that got shot. And I just thank the Almighty for giving me a husband to help me to grow to the woman that I became today. Thank you, Yah.
Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah. Glory be to Yahweh. Any other testimonies? Yes, sir.
I want to start by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And the Almighty Yahweh, he's been part of the Red Sea for me, and he continually does so. And I've come to realize that a lot of times our past is when you dwell on that, it causes it stunts your growth.
Yes.
And the fact that he's still waking me up every day is proof of him part of the Red Sea for me. There's been a lot of times where he delivered me out of things. And things like drowning, like just I could have choked on a peppermint and died. And I'm still here today. So
Praise Yah.
that's just proof of him part of the Red Sea for me.
Praise Yahweh. And
Hallelujah.
you know, I'm gonna tell you something that's really, really deep. That a lot of times it is good to reflect on what you did, so you could appreciate where you are. Because sometimes we'll get to a point of where we forget. We forget. And sometimes things will start going too well, so to speak. And you can easily forget and be like, you know what? You know, you'll forget where you came from. Well, we can forget where we came from. And every testimony that's given is beautiful. And the beautiful part about testimonies is we letting the world know who our Creator is. You understand? Some people may feel like, hey, that's out there that may be listening even out there. I don't know. That, you know, hey, I don't got to tell everybody how good YAH is to me. But I bet you be the same person to talk about how this quarterback can go. How this basketball player, he the best player on the team. You can brag about that. Yeah, that's my boy. I bet when LeBron James died, you cried. Not LeBron James, but Kurt, or what's his face? Kobe Bryant, when he passed, I bet you cried, shed tears. You talk about how great LeBron James is. We can't do the same for the Creator, who does way more than these men has ever done for us. And I'm not saying anything about these men, and how I'm not saying they're bad men. LeBron James, I really admire LeBron James. I do, for what he does. I don't know much about Kobe Bryant, but he did have a love for what he did. And I respect and can understand what these men's positions are. But they haven't done as much for us as Yahweh has. And anything that these men are able to do, or women, because there's some great women out there, great women, but they're only able to do as much as Yahweh allows them to do. You understand? If you sit back and think about some things, why is it that Marcus Garvey movement was kind of shut down? Why was he stopped as he was about to take some and go back over to Africa? Because Yahweh ain't gonna let no man get his glory, because they know how we are. Listen how we are. Moses couldn't deliver us. So in their mind, that's what they're thinking. They're thinking that Moses was supposed to deliver them. And what would we think? There would be a cult or a religion called the Garveyites, even though it's kind of like that anyway. Yeah, it is. They call Garveyites, but they would worship him like he was God, like he was the Christ in the New Testament. And that's what our people will do. You know, anyone that gives us any type of mass deliverance, we look at them as they are our God. Did it with Obama. When Obama first got into office, they drew pictures of him like walking on water. He was the new Messiah. He was the new black Messiah to deliver the blacks out of this bondage. But all he proved to be was no different than the oppressor. So praise Yahweh. Now with the time that I have, praise Yahweh, we're going to the Torah portion. Guess what we're going to discuss? You can't guess, because you don't know. Guess what? We're going to talk about vows. We're going to talk about the importance of vows. I know some people are like, well, I've heard about this. I'm so da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, I'm reiterating the word. I don't know if it's a reiteration for some or whatever, but how many of us understand the severity or the importance of vows? Vows are very important. When we make a vow to Yahweh, I'm pretty sure many of us have made vows to the Creator, right? And how many of us have reneged on our vow? A lot of us have. A lot of us have. So we're going to discuss it. I'm going to open up with a scripture that Elder Ezekiel used to open up with every first class when we'd be on California. When he would do his portion in the morning class. I'm going to open up with this scripture. He would always open up with it, and it hit me today. Praise Yahweh. Turn to the book of Ecclesiastes Chapter 5. He would always open up with this. Ecclesiastes Chapter 5. And those who have been to his morning portion of the class, he would like was said, like Sister Lena has said, he would sit a chair down in front of the podium and get with the people. That's what Elder Ezekiel was about. He would get with the people. And it was a comfortable setting. And you could freely give your praise to Yahweh and not worry about somebody yelling across the coming at you like, well, that's wrong. That ain't what that means. He didn't play that. Everybody was able to give their interpretation of their understanding, and it was a peaceful. I used to love it. I used to love it. But in Ecclesiastes Chapter 5, he would always start with the first verse. He would say, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. For they consider not that they do evil. So when we come into the house of the Almighty, or we come into a place where the Almighty's word is being taught, Be more ready to hear than to attack. There was a doctor, I believe she was a doctor. She was a speaker, and she said that people don't listen to hear, they listen to respond. And that's exactly what happens. You ever been talking or sharing a presentation and watching people's eyes and how they look at you? They're looking for you to mess up. They like, okay, they right about that. Okay. There it is. We do it all the time, Minister Alicia. People say a word wrong. Did you hear what he said? Yeah, I did. And you missed the whole message because you focused in on one word that he messed up because he has a southern tongue. But in verse 2, it says, be not rash with thy mouth. And this is something that all of us as Israel need to take in. Be not rash. Think before you speak. That's one thing that I liked about Obama. When he would talk, he would go, and we're going to go here. Yeah, right. And he had that long pause because he's thinking as he's speaking. Unlike the president before, after him. He would just say what was on his mind. It says, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart, thy mind, be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. Because before it comes out of here, it starts here. For Elohim is in heaven, and thou upon earth, therefore let thy words be few. So he's setting a precedent. Watch what comes out of your mouth. Watch what you say. That's why when we addressing the Almighty, we can't come to him like I would talk to one of my boys on the street. We address him as he is who he is, and that is King. He's our Savior and our Redeemer. In verse 3, it said, but it says in the latter verse, it says in verse 2, I'm going to read it again. It says, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. For a dream cometh through a multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words. Using me as an example, this is what I'm learning. You don't have to talk so much. Just sometimes it's good to just listen. Sometimes when I'm in here, I catch myself talking too much. I have to relinquish myself. I have to start practicing that. Silence is powerful when used properly. You ever seen when individuals get to arguing, right? They get to arguing to the point where you think it's going to lead to an altercation, right? Who do you watch the most? Do you watch the one that's doing this? I'm going to kill you. Or you watch the one that's standing there calmly with their hands in their pocket or standing like this? When the FBI was sending an informant to a rally, the informant don't watch for the ones that's, yeah, kill Whitey, yeah. They watch for the one that's taking notes. Who's sitting there quiet, they watch for him or her. What are they thinking? What are you writing? Go, because when you're quiet, that means you're attentive. Nothing, you're not letting nothing pass you because you're listening. So let your words be few. And a fool is known by a multitude of words. You know who a fool is. They can't shut up. They tell all their business. They tell everything. Everything. A fool is the one that say, I'm just going to get it off. I'm just going to get it off. I need to say this. No, you don't really. Do you really need to say it? Is it going to kill you to go one more day and find a more proper occasion to say what you need to say? Verse 4 says, now this is what I'm getting to. It says in verse 4, when thou vowest a vow unto Elohim, defer not to pay it. Defer means don't not pay it. Don't not pay it. For he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. I didn't mean to make that vow. Yah, you know I can't do that. Wherefore should Elohim be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hands, thine hands? Let me give you a quick example of something. Can we pay tithes here in captivity?
No,
Can
sir.
we pay tithes? We can't. I still pay tithes. Come on now, brother. Now you're going against the teachings. No, I'm not going against the teachings. What I'm showing you is when you make a vow, then he say to defer, not to keep it. I'm held by it now. Because I didn't do the research and the study myself. This was a vow I made years ago. Years ago. Years ago. Here I give offerings because we don't accept tithes. But I disperse the tithes to who I can. I don't know who the priests are. But I give it to the ones that's fatherless and the ones that right now is just fatherless. And the widows who will accept it. But I'm still held by that. I'm still held by that vow. That's how important the vow is. That's how strong a vow is. And I'm going to tell you what led to it. I was jobless. Some years ago, I was jobless. This was before I even married Hilkiah. Jobless. Didn't have any money. I said, Yahweh, if you bless me to get this job, I told him I would pay my tithes. I didn't put a stipulation on it. I didn't say I'll pay it while I'm there. I didn't do none of that. I just threw that vow out there. And you know what the Almighty did? I got the job. And you know what Brother Michael is held by? That vow. That's why when he says, watch what comes out of your mouth. There was a brother a while ago when we was at the other spot. The one in Walnut Hills. And the brother made a statement. He said, he was talking about vows. And he said, you know, what if I say, he said, what if he vowed that he would kill dude if he didn't beat him in his video game? And he didn't like the answer. Then you have to do it. You made that vow to the Almighty. You made that vow before the Almighty. He heard you. And he said, and he was like, nah, man, the Almighty ain't gonna hold me up. And some may say, man, what you talking about, man? But when you make a promise and you make it before the Creator. Now, let me ask this question. Is making a vow to Yahweh important? Yes, it is. What if I made a vow to another man? And I broke that vow. Would Yahweh still hold me accountable? I got one yes, that he would hold me accountable still for that vow. And broke it to that man. Just a yes or a no. Would I still be held accountable for that? Would Yahweh deal with me the same way that he would deal with me if I broke a vow with him? Just yes or no. Oh, sorry, I apologize. Go ahead.
I really wanted to give an explanation on that, but that's not what you said. You wanted yes or no, but I'll sit back and listen because I want.
No, sir, I got a little time. Go ahead and do your explanation. Go ahead, sir. Praise Yah.
And a lot of people probably need to search themselves and even search the scriptures
Yes, sir.
But if I tell you I'm going to do something, say on a particular day,
Mhm.
I'm giving you my word that I'm going to do this.
That's right.
And our word is very strong. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But somebody makes me a better offer for the same day and the same time that I'm supposed to keep my word to you. So this person might be paying me more or paying me and you're not paying me whatever.
Mhm.
I need to keep my word to you, even if it's to my own hurt. Period. Period.
Okay. Praise Yahweh. Beautifully put. Beautifully put. What the elder said is absolutely the truth. So let me finish. Let me go back. Let me go into a vow. So vow. I looked up what vow means in Hebrew. Vow in Hebrew has, it has 3 different meanings. And you know what's deep is? The reason that it has so many meanings is because it's not it's not necessarily given in its original form of Hebrew. What I mean by that is it's given in a more modern text of understanding Hebrew. It has the vowel points to it, and you can move dots and place dots. But the most consistent that I read here in the Tanakh, that I found here in the Tanakh, was the meaning for the word vow is oath. It's an oath. Swearing. But the word that's used in the Tanakh is the vow. The word is where the definition is oath. You made an oath. An oath, you make a promise. You make a declaration. You said that I'll do this if you do this. And if this person comes through, then you're held by that vow or that oath. Now, here's the thing. When I said that, does Yah hold you at the same standard of keeping a vow for him as he does another man? He doesn't. Because he tells you that if you make that type of oath, you can go to that man and you tell him that you can't keep it. But you have to tell them. You have to tell them that you can't keep it. Does that mean we just go making promises to people we can't keep? No. Y'all might, that's a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. And if you want to be titled as a liar, because I'm going to tell you what hurts. There are 3 things that I'm going to say that hurts to hear. The first one is when your child comes to you and they say they're disappointed in you. The second one is when your woman say, I can't trust you. The third one is to be called a liar. Those are my 3 that are heavy for me. Everybody got their own, but I added in that. Those are heavy for me. And let me add in a 4th, which I'm going to make number 1. To hear that somebody says they give up on Yah. That actually hits harder than the other 3. Those are my reasons. Let somebody say they quit. Let somebody say, I can't do this no more. I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm going over to Islam. I'm moving over to be a monk. I'm done with this. That should hit us. That should hit you harder because you're walking away from your husband. You're walking away from your father, your king, your redeemer. After all the work he has done and still does to just walk away. So to keep a vow is very important. A man, and here's the thing, I like this saying, where it says your word is your bond. I like that. Word is bond. That's old school, but that's the truth. Word is bond. I'm gonna tell you something. You're not a man if you can't keep your word necessarily. Now, let me say this. There are instances where you may not be able to keep a word, but you do your darndest to try to fix it or correct it. But just to give your word and don't pay through, you ain't a man. you're not a man. Because that's more for most of us in this land. And I'm not talking about Yahweh, but for most of us, that's what we have is our word. Most of us don't have great possessions other than our word. And dang, if you can't even keep your word, well, what kind of man are you? And I'm speaking to men. That's what I'm talking to right now. Men. So the Almighty says, and that's what I love about Yahweh, because He's gonna make you a man whether you want to be one or not. He's gonna make you a man. You walking with me, you're gonna be a man. Don't be coming in my place switching, talking about some YAH, we ain't doing that. Not in my place, you ain't. When you come in here, I'm gonna tell you something. When I went to the Knesset in New York, they got rules. Are the rules in the scriptures? No, but it's their rules. Their rules are set to instill a mindset. They tell you, men don't come in here with no skinny jeans on. Men don't come in here with no little shirts. Women, you are to be covered. You are to be decent. You come in here in your dresses. And that's exactly what it was. Because it instills a mindset. When you walk into a room and you're a man, you want to know you a man and you amongst other men. I'm telling you, you could look like grape ape. You know what I'm saying? You could be so ugly, you look like a video game character. But if you can hold on to Yahweh in strength and you a man of your word, that's attractive. That is. That's like a pheromone. Keep your word. There's a lot of handsome guys that are a bunch of liars. But a good man is just like a good woman. Sometimes it's hard to find. But a good man, number one, knows who his king is. He knows that, yes, you put me in this position, but Yahweh, you are my head. You are the head of my household. And a good man keeps his word. But a good man also thinks before he speaks. A fool utters anything out of their mouth. But a good man, he thinks before he speaks. So let's deal with this vow. Let's turn to the book of Judges, chapter 11. Yes, sir, elder. Judges, chapter 11. Is it one of the moments that I read your mind?
Well, but
yes, sir.
While you were speaking on, and you said you were speaking to the man,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that you're saying is so cohesive and it comes together, and it just made me have a thought, and that's the reason, because I don't know if you've ever heard, because I used to get upset with this until I came into an understanding, a right understanding, where you would hear a woman say to another man, and I'm not speaking to myself, but you ain't no man. You ever heard somebody say that?
Yeah.
But then once I started understanding the difference, and I mentioned this last, might have been within the last couple of weeks, the difference between a grown man and a grown male. And I mentioned the difference between a grown woman and a grown female. And there is a difference. So when you said you were talking to men, that's key right there. To be a man. To be a man. Because when a person is a man, they're taking on the responsibilities of a man. And all males don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
When it takes talk about the responsibilities of a woman, all females don't do that. You see, right. So I'm just appreciating the lesson that you were speaking of, and it just brought that little mind. And so for a second there, I turned around like this. I want to see where you were going with it. You know what I'm saying? And that was it.
Praise Yahweh.
For the mind that's considering.
That's true.
And
Very
so
true.
praise God.
Praise Yahweh for the mind that's considering. In the book of Judges, chapter 11, let me break something down for you real quick. I'm not going to read the whole chapter for the sake of time. Jephthah. Jephthah was born of basically a prostitute. It's Gilead. His brethren totally disowned him. Read the whole chapter. It's deep. It's totally disowned him until the Amorites were going to war against him. So then they want to call Jephthah because Jephthah was a great warrior. Hey man, and I'm kind of paraphrasing. Hey man, can you kind of put everything aside, brother? We need your services. We need you to be one of our captains, sir. We need your services, sir, because you're a great warrior. Now Jephthah could have been petty and be like, at first he kind of was like, nah, you kicked me out. But then he conceded and he fought for his brethren. And in fighting, prior to them fighting, going to war, Jephthah made a vow. I'm going to start at verse 30. And I'm going to read the 40. It says, in Judges chapter 11, I'm starting at verse 30, but read the whole chapter. It's actually pretty good. Really good. In Judges chapter 11, starting at verse 30, it says, and Jephthah vowed a vow unto Yahweh and said, if thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into mine hands, then it shall be that now mind you, he said whatsoever. Now he could have been mad. Now he could have been mad at his wife and was hoping she run out. Anything. It could have been, he said whatsoever. Whatsoever. Who else will come running out of the house? Because I'm pretty sure you weren't living with the goats and the sheep in your house. He said in your house. Maybe the dog. Maybe the dog. But he made this vow, and then it's talking about when you're dealing with emotions. He made this vow in this deep emotion of wanting to win this battle. He didn't use logic. He didn't use wisdom. He just opened his mouth, and this is what happened. Then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the children of Israel, from the children of Ammon, shall surely be Yah's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. Now, he said whatsoever. He knew what was to be offered up to the Almighty, or what the Almighty would take. But he got whatever come at my house, Yahweh, I'm offering to you as a burnt offering. So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them. And what did Yah do? He delivered them into his hands. And he smote them from Aroer even till thou came to Menith, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. So Yahweh kept his end of the bargain, didn't he? He kept his end of the bargain. Verse 34. And Jephthah came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dance. Timbrels, them little things you see in the church, they be doing in the church, them little tambourine things. Timbrels and with dance. And she was his only child. He had no other children but this young lady. Besides her, he had neither son nor daughter. This is his only child. And it came to pass when he saw her that he rent his clothes and said, alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me. For I have opened my mouth unto Yahweh, and I cannot go back. Jephthah said he can't go back. I don't open my mouth. When we read in the book of Ecclesiastes 5, what did it say? Basically, watch what you utter out your mouth, right? Watch it. It's better to not make a vow than to make a vow and not what? And not keep it. You vow to do something. Let's say you get caught up and you had to stop. Does that mean you ain't got to keep it? No. You get right back in the swing of things. Like, okay, let me make sure I'm keeping my vow. Let me make sure I'm keeping my vow. That's how important a vow is. And you can read the rest of it. But look at what his daughter said, though. She says, and she said unto him, my father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto Yahweh, do to me according to that which hath proceeded out of thy mouth. For as much as Yahweh hath taken vengeance for thee of thine enemies, even the children of Ammon. And she wanted to bewail her virginity for 2 months. That's all. So the vow didn't have a time frame on when he needed to start it, in the sense of when he needed to offer it up. But he made that vow. He gave her 2 months to bewail her virginity because she would never know a man. Because she's going to be offered up as a burnt offering. Now, some may say, that's murder. That's murder. Why would Yahweh allow this man to murder his daughter? No, that was not murder. No one told him to open his mouth. No one said, open your mouth. No one told him to open his mouth and make that vow. Shalom, shalom, family. Nobody told him to open his mouth and make that promise. Nobody did. But he did it, right? So he was held by that vow. He was held by that vow. Are there any questions on that as I go further? Told him, he said, man, whatever Yahweh, you deliver the Amorites in my hands. You deliver them into you deliver Ammon into my hands, and I vow that I will do this, that, and the other. And Yahweh kept his part of the bargain. And now it was up to Yephthah to keep his word. So vows are very important. Don't let nobody sway you into telling you that vows are not important, especially when you make vows to the Creator. Don't ever let anybody tell you that it's okay. Because they might say, well, you can't necessarily do this or do that. We can't do that in this land. When you make a vow to the Almighty, you have got to keep that vow. Yes, Sister Don.
Hallelujah, I have a question.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, go ahead, sis. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Can you make a vow without actually saying the word vow?
Yeah. You can make an oath without saying vow. If you say, Yah, if you do this, then I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
So then, technically, anything that you say without adding conditions or stipulations to it could be a vow, right?
Most of the vows that were made from when I studied it was dealing with you want something for the Almighty to do. And in order for him, if he do that, then you're going to do this. So it depends on.
So if you make a declarative statement, for instance, that individual who was going off that night I was in the store, and he said, I'm gonna kill him. Is that a vow?
No, that's not a vow. That's just a statement. That's a threat. Now, if he was to say, I promise, and he made that
there
to
may
the
have been
Almighty.
some I swear on my lives and all this other stuff.
Nah,
I mean, there were some things said, but
that was just foolish talk. That was foolishness.
But
how? Yeah, that's just foolish talk. Yeah, no, that wasn't a vow.
I just wondered because when I was younger, I learned about this phrase. It's called word, sound, power.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I mean, and I honestly believe that the things that you say, there's a power behind them.
Oh yeah, that's real. Yeah.
You putting energy out,
Yep.
and there are reverberates. So I just wonder sometimes where the line is between a vow and just a statement, because they're both verbal utterances that have the power to affect things. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, now when you make a vow, 9 times out of 10, you can, when you're listening to someone that actually makes a declaration, that's what it is. They say, for example, somebody makes a declaration, they're gonna lose weight. And they say, well, guess what? This month, I'm losing this weight. I'm gonna lose it. I'm telling you, no matter what. Now you vowing that you're gonna lose this weight. Now who you vowing to? Are you vowing to yourself, or are you vowing to the Almighty? Now that's another topic altogether. If you vow to the Almighty, you got to keep that vow. You have got to keep it. You understand? But if you slip up and have a donut during the midst of you vowing, guess what? You know what, Yahweh, forgive me, I slipped. So now let me get back on track. Just because we slipped during our vow to the Almighty don't mean that it's over. I might as well just stop. No, you pick up where you left off and you keep it moving until that vow is fulfilled. Some vows are for a moment, like Nazarites. And you got vows, even you can vow for life to be a Nazarite. You got some vows that are for a moment, and you got other vows that are for a lifetime. For a lifetime. So Jephthah made that vow. He said, the first thing to come out of my house, I'm going to offer it up to you as a burnt sacrifice. Yahweh don't take human sacrifices. Here's the thing. The purpose wasn't that he was going for him to give the human sacrifice. The purpose was to show us that how important it is to keep my vows, to keep your vow to me. When I come through for you, you got to come through for me. See, the one thing we got to stop thinking is that Yahweh is just a giver and we don't have to give up nothing. That this relationship is just one way. No, it's a two-way relationship when you're dealing with the Almighty. Yahweh gives us life. Yahweh gives us strength. Yahweh gives us, he sustains us. And in return, he wants us to follow him. As in many scriptures, our forefathers said, those that are here and those that are not here, you know, whatever the Almighty says, we will do. That's a vow. That's a vow. Whatever Yahweh say, we will do. That is a vow. We make a lot of promises, but we don't keep them. But Yahweh is so faithful, he always keeps his word. Now, in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, I'm not going to read it, but that's dealing with the Nazarite vow. You don't have to make a Nazarite vow. Now, when you read it, I'm going to share something with you because I believe that most Rastafarians take this so-called Nazarite vow. Not to cut that's why they don't cut their locks and their beards. They don't do none of that because they take a Nazarite vow. Here's the thing. When you read that vow, guess what? You can't keep Nazarite vows. We can't keep them in captivity. Because after the vow is up, we have to offer up sacrifices. And in studying that, I don't see an addendum to that law. So if you hear somebody saying, I'm taking a Nazarite vow, you look at them sideways, you can't. Because you're supposed to offer up an offering once you come off of your vow. Now, Samson was given up as a Nazarite. So he was a Nazarite to death. That's what his mother did. Gave him over to the Almighty, made him, and he lived that Nazarite lifestyle. You can do that. But we can't be Nazarites or say we take a Nazarite vow now because when it's over, you have to offer up something. And there's no addendum. I didn't see an addendum to that law. So that's what that's talking about. You can read it in Numbers chapter 6. Now let's go to Numbers chapter 30. I got a little time. Chapter 30. It's not a lot of verses in Numbers chapter 30. Now, Numbers chapter 30. I'm gonna dig right in. In about 15 minutes. I'm gonna dig right in. Yep. In Numbers chapter 30, verse 1, it reads, And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto Yahweh, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond. That bond could be anything. The bond is that promise, whatever you vow. Jethro's bond was whatever comes out of my house, I'm going to offer it up as a burnt sacrifice. He shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that preceded where? Out of his mouth. Going back to that Ecclesiastes 5, when it says, basically, watch what comes out of your mouth. Think before you speak. Let it not be said that it was an error. Verse 4 says, or verse 3. Okay, so a man is held by his vows. When a man makes a vow, there's no one to say, hey, no, we're not, he don't have to keep that. In verse 3, it says, if a woman also vow a vow unto Yahweh and bind herself by a bond before her father's house, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bond her soul, and her father shall hold his peace in her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bond her soul shall stand. So, young woman, living in her father's home, she makes a vow. The father hears the vow. The father has the right to annul that vow. He also has the right to stand still and let her be responsible for that vow. You don't have to say nothing. And then she's held by that bond. But the father can step in and disannul that vow. Verse number 5 says, but if her father disallowed her in the day that he heard not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bond her soul shall stand, and Yahweh shall forgive her because her father disallowed her. So what that's saying is that she shall be forgiven because Yahweh is going to allow that vow to be disannulled. But because of that disannulment of the vow by the Father's power, the Almighty is going to hold the Father accountable. All right. All right. Verse 6, it says, and if she had it all an husband, when she vowed or uttered out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her. In the day that he heard it, then her vows shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she shall bond her soul shall stand. So let's say, for example, you're getting married, you're all in love, you're making these vows. The woman saying she vowed to never leave you. The woman saying she vowed to always do this and always do that. The woman says she vowed to hold you up in esteem and high. If the man stands there, as most men do, and don't say a word, she's held by that vow. She's held by that vow. Now he can say to her, like, hold on, baby, no. You know you can't do that. That ain't even your personality. That ain't even in you to be that way. Don't get caught up in the beauty of the moment because we're looking for a lifetime. No, just say you're going to serve Yahweh and keep his commandments. Just do that. Then the vow that she made is disannulled, but then the husband does carry that. He doesn't have to, he's not responsible for that vow that she made, but he is to carry that iniquity of breaking that vow by not allowing her to fall, but not allowing her to keep the vow. Okay? All right. So this is what I'm going to do. I got through a lot. Praise Yahweh. So, chapters to study, Numbers chapter 6, Numbers chapter 30. Numbers 30 is only 16 verses. And then I want you to also read Deuteronomy 7 and 9 and Malachi 3 and 6. Because keep in mind about these vows. And keep in mind that Yah keeps his promises to us. All right? All right. Praise the mighty Yah. I thank you so much for your attention. And what I definitely want to say is, as it was stated, or what I want to say, I want to throw this out here, this combination, motivation, desire, and discipline. Those three entities are needed to be successful in walking with the Creator. Because you can't just be motivated. That's not enough. But you got to have that desire. The desire is going to push you to be motivated. And discipline. Discipline. Those are the keys to success. Praise the mighty Yah. Without any further ado, I'm honored to call up our next speaker. And I'm speaking of none other than Minister Yoel Israel, who is the minister here at the house of Yehuda. And he's also my teacher as well. So let us give all thanks and praise to Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Toda, Marie, Michael. First and foremost, giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Holy One of Israel, whose name alone is Yah. By saying Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let us all turn to the book of Psalms, the 19th division. We're gonna read the Psalms together. Place to place Yah chose to place his name. The heavens declare the glory of Elohim, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech, nor language, where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out throughout all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them have he set a tabernacle for the sun, which as a bridegroom cometh out of his chamber, and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. The law of Yah is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yah is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of Yah are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yah is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yah is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of Yah are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold. Sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them is our servant warned, and in keeping of them there is great reward. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. Keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Yah, my strength and my redeemer. Hallelujah.
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 Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. And let Yah be magnified.
Hallelujah.
Good once again. It's a great blessing once again to be in the assembly of the saints. To praise the Most High. Great blessing to be in the land of the living. Great blessing. And I chose this song because I wanna hear from you. I want to hear from you all. Verse 7 says, the law of YAH is perfect, without blemish, whole, complete. It's so righteous, so perfect, so wholesome and complete that it will convert the soul, the spirit of a man, of a woman. So I ask you all, and you can take a few minutes. Don't want to get a long speech. Just one thing. You just meant one thing. How has the law converted your soul? What in the law that converted your soul? Was it the Shabbat? Was it the dietary law? What effect did it have on you? When you took hold on the law? Because I never read anywhere in the scriptures where the Creator ever said that believing in a man will convert your soul. I never read anywhere in the scriptures where the Most High said if you get baptized in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, that will convert your soul. But what I have read is where the law of YAH will convert the soul. It said the testimony of YAH is sure, making wise the simple, making a simple man wise. The statutes of YAH are so right. They will just rejoice the heart, have the heart bubbling. Have you always in a what can I say, a uplifted mood. Have your spirit just rejoicing in it. The commandment of YAH is pure, enlightening eyes. Now you see things that you wouldn't normally see. Have you not came into the laws of YAH? It said the fear of YAH is clean, a clean fear, a wholesome fear, a righteous fear, enduring forever. The judgments of YAH are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than that gold watch you got on your arm, that gold necklace, things that people murder for on a daily basis, things that people sell drugs to their own community just to get some fancy rims on the car. See that much fine gold, sweeter also than honey. Then the honey's so sweet you can't get enough of talking about the law. Talking about how righteous the laws is and how they have converted you, made you into a new man, a new woman. Now that the law hasn't converted you, if there's no changes, all you is a Negro with knowledge, an end with knowledge. That's all. And you have a lot of people out there with knowledge. A lot of teachers, a lot of students, they have gained knowledge. They gained wisdom. But did you execute it? Did you put it in motion? How did you exemplify the wisdom and the knowledge that you gained? Because if you didn't put it into action, then all that knowledge, all that wisdom that you have learned truly don't profit you. You have to execute it. And that means you have to be a man and woman of action. And you only can tell by the fruit of a person, their actions. See, a person can talk all day, man, woman, about this, about that, but I'm watching your actions. So how has the law converted you? Who wants to speak? Just a couple of minutes on just pick out on the law and how it converted you. And don't everybody rush at the same time. Anyone. Because if not, we can move on. Yes, Maria.
If it were for me walking into the house of Israel and hearing, not only hearing, but researching and acknowledging and finding things to be true. If it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't be, not that I'm all of that, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. See, learning what's acceptable and what's unacceptable to Yah, for me, makes a difference because I love life, you see. And so my goal is never to go back to being that old me, because regardless of how much I might think that I wasn't all that bad, if I was going against the Creator because of my ignorance, then I was not only a heathen, but I was just evil. So I don't want to have the scales either where they're just balanced out. I got my evil is weighing with my good and it's just balanced out. I've always wanted to be exceptional. I don't ever want to be considered to be average. I've never strived for that. If I'm going to do anything, I always want to be the best at whatever it is that I do. Not that I will be the best, but I always strive to be the best. So when it comes to being me, I want to be the best version of me. And Yah's word has helped me tremendously, without a doubt, because I know me. I know where I came from, and I know where I'm at today. And I can only say praise Yah, because he tapped me on the shoulder to say, listen, son, I got something for you. Will you accept it or will you not accept it? Because I know a lot of people that have been touched, but they don't want to accept it.
Sure don't.
They don't want to accept it. I embraced it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I want to start by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I can say ever since I started keeping the Shabbat, the law in general, like it said, it converts the soul, everything. And me not keeping it holy, I can say not fully keeping all the law, statutes, and commandments of Yah is the reason why I know that I'm not at my pinnacle yet, at my highest point. So that's something that I'm still working toward. But even with me working and growing in the law, I can say that I'm a work in progress still. So, and I praise Yah for that.
And that's a blessing that you recognize that, because some people think they done already reached that pinnacle. And we all are still a work in progress. As long as we live, we're gonna be a work in progress and under Yah's divine mercy, as he allow us to continually to hopefully get better and improve. Now, if we get worse and worse every year, every day, if we walking backwards, then something's wrong. Because you always should be striving and be getting better and better and better. And the law is so great. And this is what we're going to deal with today. The law of Yah. But before we deal with anyone else, how the law has converted them. Yes. Sister Dawn.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I know Yahweh's law is working on me because it's peeling back the layers. And it's picking out things that's making me consider myself. And it's making me walk it like I talk it. Hallelujah.
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 Praise Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. And it said, in the keeping of them, there is great reward. Now let me ask you, who don't want a reward? I know I want a reward. And this is what Yah promised his saints. They are obedient unto his word. They keep his law. He said, you will receive a reward. And let me tell you, if you don't keep them, you're going to receive a reward too. All the rebels, all the wicked, they're going to receive a reward too. And that's what Yah calls balance. He has a reward for the righteous, and there's a reward for the wicked. Now we got to decide which side of the fence we want to be on. Because there is a great reward. Now let me ask you, where can the laws of Yah be found at? Where can you find the law of Yah at? Can you find it within the confines of the New Testament? Can it be found within the confines of the Quran? How about the Hadiths? How about the Talmuds? Can the laws of Yah be found in the Book of the Dead? Any other books? How about in the Book of YAH? How about in the book of Enoch? Can the laws of Yah be found in the Apocrypha? And I found that although you have all these other books, and a lot of them is good, you can read them, but are they relevant to your salvation? See, oftentimes we focus on and put a lot of concentration and energy and effort into things more so than we do the Torah, Yah's word, his law. And if you don't understand this, there's no need for you to even go and venture out in these other books. Spending all your energy in these other books, when these other books won't profit you nothing if your foundation is not Torah. And I have to say that all the time. But where can the laws of Yah be found? Well, let me tell you. Or let me ask this. Can it be found in the book of Jeremiah? Are you sure? How about Isaiah? How about Zephaniah? How about Proverbs? Can the laws of Yah be found in Proverbs? Huh? No, we know there's wisdom in Proverbs, but that's not the question that I asked. I said, can the laws of Yah be found in Proverbs? Can the laws of Yah be found in Ecclesiastes or the book of Ezekiel? No, no, no. The law is from Genesis to Deuteronomy. Now, if someone is telling you anything other than that, then Brother Yoel just have to tell them they are seriously mistaken. They are seriously mistaken. Now, outside of the book of the law, which is from Genesis to Deuteronomy, you still have instruction. You still have wisdom. But the law stops. Don't go past Deuteronomy, folks. It stops there. And the soul, righteous and the holy Yah said is perfect. And he said, don't add to it and don't diminish from it. And what else did he say? Go to the book of Joshua, the first chapter. Because it's something very needed when you, in your attempt to start, when you start learning the commandments and laws of Yah. It's something that the mighty Yah told this great prophet, something that he should have. And I want all Israel to know this and understand this. Joshua, the first chapter, it says, now after the death of Moses, the servant of Yah, it came to pass that Yah spoke unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead now. Therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto a land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot should tread upon, that have I given you, as I have said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto this great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea, toward the going down of the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for inheritance the land which I swore unto thy fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do what?
According to all the law.
According to some of the law.
All the law.
All the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left hand, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. This book of the law should not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. Because if you don't meditate in the laws of Yah, it's easy for you to forget things. Very easy. And our people is very forgetful. Though Yah told them to bind fringes, zizis, upon the four corners of their garment or on the borders of their garment, that they may look on it and remember all the commandments of Yah, because we are a very forgetful people. But in order to do these laws, you got to be strong. A weak man cannot keep Torah. A weak woman cannot keep Torah. Can't say that enough. You have to be strong to do this. You got to be strong enough. Tell the king, I'm not bound down to your deities. I don't care if you got lions running around. I don't care how hot you turn up the furnace. We're not bound down. We hear these instruments of music. You know how strong you got to be? You ever see a lion eat a man? I've seen videos of lions eating men. Men talking about Christ is with them. And they over in Africa, going in lions' den to get their tail towed up by the lions. Seeing these circus trainers getting their tail towed up by these lions because they're trying to domesticate these animals. Get tore to pieces. You know how strong it is to go in the lion's den? And they just running around, jumping up at the wall, looking at you. And he said, if you don't bow down, sons, all you got to do is take a little pig, little piece of pig ain't gonna hurt you. Grandma lived to be 90 years old off the pig. Just take a little piece and you live. How strong you gotta be? Do you know how strong you gotta be to keep the Shabbat with all the temptation around? Mailbox overflowing with mail. Things going all around, people calling you on the phone, they know. And that's one thing they know. I don't take no phone calls on Shabbat, but what they do? They want to call you anyway. Just to try you. Just to try you. So we constantly gonna be tried when it comes to Yah's laws. But you got to be strong. And then we go to Psalms 1. Psalms 1. Psalms 1 says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of Yah, and in his law does he meditate day and night. And that's how you know where your heart is at. That's how you know if you delight in the law of Yah. Just by this standard alone. Just by this alone. If you go through the day without the meditations of Yah coming in your heart, your mind, then something is wrong. If you went through a whole day without Yah, from the time you woke up to say praise Yah, Torah for another day, the time you walked by the way, by the time you laid down, and you didn't even have a thought of Yah in your conscience. The law didn't run through your conscience at all, the commandments. Then something is wrong. Then where's our meditations at? See, one thing about us is we meditate on things that stress us out more than we do the law. We worry ourselves to death right in the grave. Just stressing. But have we not read where it says, he keep thee in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee because he trusteth in thee? Have we not read what the scripture said, cast our burden on Yah and he shall sustain thee? Or have we forgot about that because we're not meditating? We're not reading, we're not pondering, we're not retaining things. Because the number one thing that will kill you real fast is stress. Have your blood pressure all high? And what would that lead to? Strokes. Now you laid up in the hospital, stressing over things you can't control. Well, worry about it. Give it to y'all. Oh, it's just too much for me. Yeah, I'm giving it to you. Take it, take it, take it. That's what it says. And he should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in this season. See, I don't worry about cars getting repossessed and this what the average man might be worrying about. I said, y'all woke me up. He's been keeping me. So what? The car got to go. So what? I got to move out of this house and get a little apartment. You think I'm going to be stressing out, getting 2 or 3 jobs, trying to hold on to something? Worry myself to death? Side hurting, chest getting tight, having pain in my arm? Because I'm worried about all these bills? Well, maybe I need to do some, right? Sit down going over some things. Maybe I can get rid of that cable. Get rid of all these extra things that we bring on ourselves. And we bring stress on ourselves. Israel, that we choose to work on a Shabbat day to get more money for that time and a half, double time. No. Rest in YAH. Wait patiently in YAH. But the ungodly will tell you, boy, you better get that money. You better get it while you can now. But that's why the scripture said, don't listen to the ungodly. The ungodly can be your friend. The ungodly can be your wife, can be your husband. It could be your preacher, your minister. So just don't think. Or get a picture of a white man. The ungodly comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Anybody giving you counsel that's going against the law of YAH, you're dealing with the ungodly. Anybody telling you you don't have to keep the Shabbat day in exile, that's the ungodly. Anybody telling you you don't got to keep the laws, period, and that the laws not even relevant to your salvation, that's the ungodly. In the time we living in today, they say we done had over 45 mass shootings within a month's time. Young man murdered by a white racist, I don't care what y'all think and say, a white racist cop trained to know that your weapon is on your right side and your pepper spray or your stun gun is on your left, but she grabbed for the right. She knew what she was doing. Can't tell me 20-something years of training and you gonna grab the gun and claim, oh, it was a mistake. You don't make mistakes like that. There is no accidents you can make, like you call that an accident. That was straight out murder. Then you got that little 13-year-old young man gunned down by the police. So now you got mass shootings just everywhere. FedEx can't go to work without the food coming back, shooting up people. Can't even stand outside of your own house without worrying about a drive-by shooting occurring. You know, y'all gotta stay in. Y'all gotta stay in. It's so bad now. Terrible. That every time you leave out your door, your life can be taken from you. Right in the house, your life can be taken. Bullets flying all over the place. So we got to thank YAH every single day and praise the Most High for his mercy. And like I said, I always say it, I'm saying it again. There's one thing that I found out that without it, we wouldn't even be here. If it were not for YAH's great mercy. And once you understand that, you will understand all things. That I'm not worth the least of his great mercies. And I'm only constantly praying that I make changes on a daily basis to become a better man. You make changes to be a better woman, a better man, a better servant, a better witness while you're in the land of the living. Because when you gone, you gone. But now it's the day of judgment. And I don't know, when I go the way of all flesh, will I be raised up in the land of the living? Will you be raised up in the land of the living? Or is your judgment already set? Is it already decreed? And we're going to get into some things. We're going to get into the law. We're going to examine the law. And let's examine the law. Go to Deuteronomy the 8th chapter. Because everything y'all told Israel is relevant to our salvation. Go to Deuteronomy the 8th chapter. Well, let's see how we forgot some things. Deuteronomy the 8th chapter. It says, all the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land. Now, if you don't observe to do all that y'all commanded us, why would we even expect to go back home? Now, you got people out here talking about you don't even have to keep the law in order to go back home. You don't got to do it. You do the law when you get home. Right here, when our people came out of Egypt and they was in the wilderness, y'all told them all the commandments you got to observe to do if you want to live and multiply and go in and possess the land, which he swore to your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which Yah the Elohim led thee these 40 years in the wilderness to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, what thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man does not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Paul does man live. Did he say that?
No, sir.
Did he say that every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Christ of the New Testament that man live?
No, sir.
Did he say that every word that proceeded out of the mouth of your Kohans, your deacons, your ministers, does man live? No. He said every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah. And you got to understand, when Yah is speaking, then when your teachers are speaking and saying something. And there's some reason that people can't differentiate between the two. Yah say this. Yah tell Israel, don't keep Passover outside of Jerusalem. And then the teachers say something different. Yah tell Israel, you cannot keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread outside of the land, but the teachers say something different. Yah tells Israel, you cannot keep the Feast of Weeks outside the land, but your teachers say something different. Now, who are we going by? Are we going by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah? Or your teachers? Or your leaders? And I'm not a respecter of persons at all. When I teach, I don't attack people personally, at least I try not to. I just attack their doctrine. I just attack the false statements and claims that are made, which cannot be supported by the mouth of Yah. He said, thy raiment wax not old upon thee, verse 4. Neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. And let's go down. Let's go down to verse number 8. He said, a land of wheat and barley, a vine of fig trees, a pomegranate, a land of oil, olives, and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness. Now, can you eat bread without scarceness today? Without worry about dying? Or get a bag of lettuce and have to worry about if it's been contaminated with E. coli? Can you eat tomatoes and cucumbers today without having to think, well, man, has this been mingled with rat DNA? Has this been spliced? Everything you eat, got to eat with scarceness. Can't drink no milk Found out, oh, they got cyanide in it. One of my brothers brought a case of water. Never been opened. Wife got hold to it. Opened up, she took a little drink. And guess what she seen it? A spider. Black spider. Just floating around it. And a lot of these things we buy, whether it's your candy bars and this stuff got rodent. The FDA allows a certain amount of rodent droppings, hairs to be in a lot of your candy bars, if you didn't know that. And then they killing us with red M&Ms, purple M&Ms, all this stuff. And then they're coming out with these new Reese Cup things, new Better Improvement cookies, and all this stuff. And what is this? And what we do, we eat it up. Go to the grocery store, we look at the African American food basket. It's all full of sugar. Sugar, donuts, cookies, sweet juices. Ain't nothing wholesome and nutritious in it. Pig feet and sugar. And salt. A lot of sodium, salt. And he said, a land whose stones are iron and out whose hills thou mayest dig briars. And when thou hast eaten, and are full, if you ain't dead by now, if it ain't killed you. He said, then thou shalt bless YAH, that Elohim, for the good land where he had given thee. Now that's the law. Now how many of us bless YAH after we eat? Or do we bless YAH before we eat? Now blessing YAH before we eat, is there any way you can read that? But most people bless so-called God, bless YAH before they eat. But after they eat, they do this. He said, beware that thou forget not YAH that Elohim in not keeping his commandments and his judgments, his statutes, which I command thee this day. These when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built a goodly house and dwell therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, thy silver, thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thy heart be lifted up, and you forget YAH, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, and we forget the Most High after we eat. He said, do it after you eat, because I'm going to prove you. Because your stomach is full now, that belly is full now. And all you thinking about is laying down, going to sleep now. Because you're tired now. Belly full of chicken, hot wings, and beer. Now all you thinking about is sleeping. But he said, don't forget me. You bless me. Because I'm the one that led through that great and terrible wilderness, where it was fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where no water was. And I'm the one that give you power to get to wealth. As soon as the black man and woman, average African American, get wealth, what do they first say? What do they say? If they ain't thanking the Christ of the New Testament, they thank mama. You don't even hear nothing about father, pops. They thanking everybody else but YAH. YAH don't get no credit. YAH don't get no glory at all. At all. But this is instruction. This is law. Then let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 22. Let me ask you this question. Everybody look up. Let me ask you this question. If you purchase a brand new living room set, brand new, let's say from Value City, one of the furniture stores, you get it home, looking at it, enjoying it, sitting on it, you sit on one section and man, something don't feel right about this part. So you raise it up. There's a big bag of money under that part of the couch. And it's wrapped up in a plastic bag. And you open it up, it's just full of hundreds and fifties and $20s bills, what would you do? Get your head out the book. What would you do? Would you return it? And if you don't return it, are you stealing? Huh? Yes.
I would return it because I know it is not.
And you done counted it, it's over 500,000.
I don't care. I will return it. I will return it because I felt like if I did keep it, I knew it didn't belong to me in the first place. I didn't put it there. And I
But it's
felt
brand new.
well, I would still return it. I would return it because like I said, I feel like I would be stealing if I kept it. I wouldn't have a good conscience about keeping it and spending that money, knowing that it was not mine.
Could it be a blessing from y'all? That he blessed you with it? House about to go into foreclosure? Car about to get repossessed? And you've been praying on y'all for a blessing? Huh? Blessing from the heavens, the mighty Yah, you as his faithful servant? His witness been strong with him all this time? Could it be a blessing? Do it mean it's a curse?
It could be a blessing and it could be a test.
It could be a blessing or
It could be a test because I had a test when I found that wallet full of money. Full of money. I could have used some of that money. I could have took that wallet in Kroger's and gave them all that stuff back. And I could have took me, maybe not all of the money, some of the money, because I could have used that money. Really, I could have. But I did not do that.
So I want to hear from you.
I took it all. I took the wallet, the money, and everything in there. But I could have used it. But
could have used it.
Yeah, I mean, I needed it. But I knew it did not belong to me. And I would be stealing. And it's for that other money up under that couch. I think that might have been a test. And I just went ahead. I wouldn't have kept it.
So you think it just could be a test?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sister Dawn.
Hallelujah. Blessings from Yahweh are clean. Ain't no guilt. Ain't no consideration of what could have happened. What if it came from this? No. If it show up in that sofa, that's some other business that I don't want no parts of. That sofa and that money going back to where it came from. Ain't nobody coming to my house talking about you kept. No.
Wait a minute.
It's all going back.
Y'all need to tell me. I got two Israelite witnesses, servants of Yah, that's saying that they wouldn't keep that $500,000 in that
Blessings
sofa.
from Yahweh are clean. There is no misgivings about it. If it's a blessing, you can go to sleep at night with a clean conscience. You got to worry about nobody busting in your house because you thought that maybe it was this, but when in actuality it was that. No. When Yahweh bless you, it's forthright, and that's what it is. It's a blessing. You turn that money back in, guess what? Somebody might have said, I appreciate your honesty. Here, let me bless you with this. There you go. You got your mortgage paid for. You can go to sleep at night. You got to be looking over your shoulder while you at the grocery store because you paying with some hundreds that you may not be entitled to. Yahweh,
so you ain't gonna keep
the fear of God is clean. No,
you ain't taking 1,000 out of it.
No, I don't want it. It wasn't in my house. It's going back. Take my name off the invoice. I don't want to have none parts of that.
Sister Yakuri and Brother Mikhail and Maria. Yes.
Okay, so you said furniture delivered to your house.
Brand new furniture delivered
Box
to your
ain't
house.
been open.
But ain't been open.
And a whole bunch of money in there.
Oh, $500,000.
I'm gonna sit on it.
You gonna sit on it?
I'm gonna sit on it.
Man.
You ain't gonna contact the store?
I'm gonna sit on it.
You gonna sit on it? How long you gonna sit on
Until y'all said that couch on fire.
it? Till we set the couch on. Oh, wait, well, I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate that.
Set it on fire, but you know what? You sit there and you hold it too long. Because you know, some people might think like this. That's why I said devil advocate. Devil advocate. People sit there and they be like, well, I'm gonna wait to see if somebody gonna come back and ask, look for this money.
See, my thing is, are you violating the law if you keep it? That's the thing we gotta.
Well, anyway, you did let mine, so I keep it.
You said it's not yours, so you can't keep it. Yes, Murray Michael.
Praise mighty Yah. I would have to contact the manufacturer or the store and let them know. And the reason being is because something like that happened to me just last week. Actually, I was at the laundromat. We won $500,000. It was $50, and everybody had walked past it, and I happened to stop and was like, "Ooh!" So I picked it up and I put it in my pocket. I said, "Well," but it was an uncomfortable feeling. Like you said, the blessing, it wasn't a clean, like it was like, and it was like, nah, ask around, ask whose it is. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I was going, right as I was heading up to the attendant, this gentleman, this brother was walking around like, oh, I just dropped $50. Where my money at? And I said, did you drop this money? And I gave it to him, and he was willing to pay for my next load. But it was just the fact that it wasn't an ease. So the old me would have kept it, but the new and approved,
The converted soul.
has got to say, at least let me take the steps. Let me call the manufacturer, let me find out them and say, hey, I got this money. Did anybody, you know what I'm saying? It just takes to take the steps. And then hold on to it until somebody claims it, because I can't just spend it and use it until somebody claims it.
Okay. Beautiful.
Praise
Murray, yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
First of all, let me say, Sweetie, you learned well. I would absolutely make sure that it was returned. Now, the way I go about it, I would have to use discretion. Because if I'm buying the couch, even though the money was on the inside of the couch, I was buying the couch. Now, the Almighty, He judges the inward parts. And it could possibly be a test. And I want to pass that test. And see, I was talking about the difference between a grown man and a grown male, and a grown woman and a grown female. Now, a grown man, he's going to handle his affairs with discretion and be wise. Whereas a grown male, hey, that's mine. Hey, I paid for it. I got the receipt. But I don't have a receipt for $500,000. Do you understand? I don't have a receipt for that. So I don't want to put as a grown man, I don't want to put myself or my family in harm's way by not using discretion. Because obviously somebody placed that money there. It could be that it was stolen, maybe from an employee at the store, and they stuffed it in the couch. Now my name is on the invoice. They know where this couch is at. They gonna come in the darkness of night. They coming to get what belongs to them. And I understand that most people, even someone who would put that money there, is not going to value what they might call collateral damage to get what they believe belonged to them that they took from somebody else. Right. You understand? So I'm going to use discretion as a grown man, not as a grown male, and make sure I handle that right. So I'm glad that my wife, I don't know if she got some liquor, but I'm always talking. And she always listening. And if we watching a movie or something, I get along with Chief. Put that bad boy on pause or whatnot. Because I say things for a reason. Because I'm not going to always be around. And I want to make sure that if I don't leave nothing at all, I want to make sure I'm leaving some wisdom. You see, I'm the type of person who just drop little phrases and this, that, and the other in case something should happen to me, Yah forbid. She know where to look for this. If she's going to consider some of the things that I say, because I just drop random things on purpose. And let me give you an example. One day, some time ago, we up here, I believe it was Treasure Island. I had just went and spent about $100, exactly $100, to have some prescription glasses made. That was my payment on the glasses. As we're walking, ain't nobody around at all. I bend over and I pick up some money. It was 5 20s folded up. Ain't nobody around for me to ask who this belonged to or whatnot. So I already had some money in my pocket. So I peeled off one of those 20s, gave it to my wife, put the rest of them in my pocket. Now I'm walking around. I wasn't paying attention to the building, but I believe it was building 5. I get into building 5, and some Caucasian comes up to me. Now, before I even get to that point, let me backtrack. I seen another vendor, and he was selling clothing and oils or something. He said, man, I thought you was gonna come over here and at least spend about $100 with me. I said, man, I just found $100. Yeah, don't say it out loud. So why not? Right? Mm-hmm. So again, now I go over and I believe building 5. Caucasian approaches me. He said, did you just find some money? I say, can you describe it? He said it was 5 20s folded up. I said, baby girl. He said he just lost 5 20s folded up. I said, sir, I believe I have something that belongs to you. Just had I already gave her one of those 20s, I reached in my pocket, got the mother 4 20s, pulled another 20 out, said, here, I believe this belongs to you.
Great shot.
And put it in his hand and went on about my business. Now, I ended up back over in that area in building 5. Right now, he came out, he wasn't in building 5 at that particular time. And I wasn't worried about any reward or anything. My concern was I did what was right.
You did the right thing.
And I looked at that as being a test because he came to me and he told me exactly what it was and the position that it was in. So I started using that technique. If I find something and I want to find it, I'll say something was lost. And if that individual can describe it to me, I'm going to make sure that they get it. That way somebody else who don't know what it is, somebody said, was this some money? Was it this? Was it? No, I'm not going to deal with that. Yeah. We find something in the use can, change left down there. What we do, we go up there and give it to customer service. Now, if they keep it, that's on them. But it's off our hands. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Praise God. Yes.
I think it's this. My grandmother always told me a long time ago. You find something, you keep it. You knowing that it's not yours. When you lose something,
you see how I feel.
You see how I
yeah.
feel.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. And I already turn to Deuteronomy 22nd chapter because this is the law. And this is what YAH says in this law. Deuteronomy chapter 22. He says, thou should not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thou knowest him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thy own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it to him again. In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and with all lost things of thy brothers, which he hath lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself. Meaning you don't start coveting. But that's what oftentimes people would do. They're going to covet it, and they're going to keep it. Regardless if it's a stranger or their brother, because they don't know the law of YAH. And YAH gave Israel these laws, these perfect laws. And it isn't such a beautiful thing that you living amongst the righteous Israel that fear YAH, know that if you lose something, it's going to be returned back to you. Isn't that a beautiful feeling? That you can live amongst your Israelite brothers and sisters. You don't have to worry about something being stolen from you. You don't have to worry about somebody murdering any of your family members. You don't have to worry about somebody trying to get with your wife while you turn your back. How beautiful the law is. If not only Israel embraced it, but if the world embraced it, you wouldn't have all this violence that you have today, and this turmoil that you have today. And the only reason why you have it is because a two-legged serpent came along and told mankind collectively that they're not under God's law. You don't have to live by that no more. And if it's good for enough for Israel, Yah's chosen seed, isn't it good enough to heal the world? That's why go to the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. Isaiah chapter 14. And when you get to Isaiah the 14th chapter, it says, for Yah will have mercy on Yaakov, and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Yaakov. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yah for service and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. See, as long as our oppressors is ruling over us, we're going to constantly stay in this condition as a nation. As long as we are in exile, captivity, we're gonna, as a people, we're gonna continue to go to further racism, exploitism, you name it. We still gonna be constantly marching and voting. Just listen to these people just the other day when this cop murdered this brother. You know what they was talking about? Passing new legislation. We got to do something. We got to do something. Well, what? What you gonna do? What has stopped? All these different presidents in office, all these new mayors you done elected, all these politicians you done elected. What has stopped? What has changed? Now, Obama ran on a message of change. What has changed? Go to Psalms 55. If you want change, as I open up with Psalms 19, the change comes from keeping the law. But this is what Psalms 55 says. Psalms 55 and 19. And this is where we at today. Psalms 55, this is where we was at in the book of Genesis, when YAH had destroyed the earth with a flood. Psalms 55 and 19. It says what? Elohim shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Selah, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not Yah. And if you don't have changes in your life by keeping the law, you don't fear the Most High. How can you claim you fear the Creator? You reverence the word of the Creator, and you're constantly doing the same thing you've been doing. Your fear is slack. And our fear as a whole is not where it should be. It's not where it should be. And it's going to have to take a total slaughter of the black man and woman in America for the mighty Yah to get our attention. That's the only way you're going to get the people's attention. Total slaughter. So they talking about over 45 mass shootings. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till the militias get unleashed. And I'm talking about mass shootings. Not no 8 and 10 get shot. I'm talking about 30 and 40 a day. 50 and 60 a day. The numbers just keep jumping up. Where they gotta call martial law and shut it down. You got the pandemic. Oh, they say, oh, you thought the pandemic was over with? No, the numbers is going back up. It's going back up. It's getting worse again. So you got a pandemic on top of mass shootings. Do like Yah is happy? He's satisfied? Or do like the Creator is angry? Sick of the mess. But Israel, And the sad thing about this, and when you speak about the law, this is what y'all said about Israel, his people. Go to Isaiah the 30th chapter. And then we're going to switch and deal with what are the greatest prophet that ever lived. Because I heard Michael speaking about this great man earlier in Isaiah the 30th chapter. In verse 8, the prophet, YAH, the prophet said, now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yah. They talking about, we want to hear the law. Teach us the law. Yah said, you're lying. You don't want the law. Because when you hear the law, you're going to rebel against the law. Yah said, remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. What is Israel going to do? Is they going to keep it holy? Majority of them? No. They're going to find ways how to cook. I know we could use a microwave on a Sabbath cake. We can warm up our food cake. They're going to find a way to circumvent the law. And Yah didn't lie. He said, children that would not hear the law of Yah. Hey, man, that's my wife. I can enjoy my wife on a Shabbat day. Yah said, don't do your own pleasures on my holy day. Well, man, that's my wife. I could do whatever if I want to. They always want to find a way around the law. He said, we say to the seer, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceit. Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. This Israel you talking to, you dealing with. The people that Yah said you go to, you warn them from me. And you already know that the majority that you go to, they're going to reject Yah. They're going to reject the law. Now they're going to embrace Christ because Christ is easy to accept. Somebody that died for your sins. No responsibility for your actions. You don't have to be conscious about what you eat, what you're putting in your body. You just eat anything. Don't have to worry about really keeping the Shabbat, because the New Testament says, don't put one day over another one. All the days is holy. So he comforts you. He soothes you when you sin. That's why he died for us. His blood was spilled for us on Calvary. Let's investigate some things. And if anyone have any comments, questions, by way of the internet, ask. Shoot them in. Shoot them forth. We're going to deal with this Christ, this Yeshua, and the law, and dying for Israel, and dying for the sins of Israel. Yes.
Somebody had asked a question on my phone when we were talking about finding a bag of money.
Yes.
They said, well, what if don't nobody claim it? Can they keep it?
If don't nobody claim the money, can you keep the money? Well, let me ask you, did you do diligent inquisition to find out and do what was suggested? And call the owner of the store and ask them about it and tell them about the situation, or did you just keep it to yourself? See, how somebody gonna come inquire or something? You know, it ain't. Nobody know nothing's going on. You keep it. You keep it. Now, this man got a statute of limitations, I believe, was 7-8 years. It is supposed to be yours. Y'all didn't say no statute when it comes to your brothers. It could be your brothers. It could be somebody that hired a wheel. It could be somebody that hired a wheel and left it to a family member. And they happen to have those, people save money up and they over years and they get too old at the age they forget about where they put it at. And it was meaning to leave that for their family. And maybe they only told one other person about something like that they was doing. But you agree, Israel. You say, hey, all you seen is greenback. And all you first thing you thinking about is bills you gotta pay. And boy, this is a blessing from God Almighty. I know He blessed me with this. Oh, He is good. Y'all, we can say Yahweh is good. He is always on time. He's never late. And our heart get to talking to you because the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who could know it? The heart start murmuring things to you. Oh, look what all you could do with this. You know He wants you to have it. That's why it ended up in your house. Fool, who you gonna go call it? Then you got people around you. They're gonna be talking with you, relatives, family members. Oh, mama, oh. That bike your daughter been walking. That car your husband been walking. That refrigerator that just broke down ain't working. And you need one.
Temptation.
Test. You get tried. And somebody else said, oh, I want you to see, trust my servants and want them to see if they're going to do the right thing. Call the store. Let them know. Let them know. And you only got to tell them the amount of money you found. Just tell them you found something in the couch. A amount of money in the couch. A brand new couch. And, you know, they get any calls about it. You know, had a person call you with this number. Because you throw a number out there, you got thousands of people calling you.
Right.
So just let them know I counted it. You know, I know how much is in here. And hey, let them know. Because it could be a drug dealer's money.
That's what I'm saying.
It could be blood money. You don't know where this money is coming from. Crack cocaine money. You don't know where it came from. And then they found out you got it. You tried to hide it from them. And you done spent it up. And this furniture been delivered to your house. Who they think gonna come, they gonna visit? The doors of your house. They're gonna pay you to visit. So use your wisdom. Use your wisdom. Y'all always makes a way out. And you don't need it. You might think you need it. You don't need it. Trust me, you don't need it. But you gotta be strong. You gotta be a very good courageous to do that. To keep the law. So you don't know if it's from a hillbilly or your brothers. You don't know where this money is from. Now, a lot of people is used to cheating on their taxes. I know that. Get them from the government, claim a little little baby on your taxes. And you ain't took care of them none parts of the time of the year. You get loans out, lying to the government about this and that. And they come back on you years later and find out that you lied. Now you're going in prison because you tried to scheme and you try to get away with this and get away with that. It's not worth it. Not worth it. You want to have a peace of mind. Trust me, it's not like a peace of mind. But let's go to the book of Exodus. Let's go to Exodus, the 34th chapter. To see who were these great laws given to. Exodus chapter 34. And we know they was given to Israel, but who did Yah entrust to give these laws to? In Exodus the 34th chapter, it says, and Yah said unto Moses, hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first. And I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first table which thou broke, and be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning upon Mount Sinai, and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount. And no man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount, neither let the flocks nor herds feed before the mount. So we read that Moses, which is known as the lawgiver, Yah is the one that entrusted Moses with this. But why? Why did he choose Moses? Why didn't he choose Aaron? Why didn't he choose any other Israelites? Why did he choose this man? Go to the book of, because there's something special about this man. There was something unique about this man, more than any other man. Go to the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter. Numbers chapter 12. when you get to Numbers chapter 12, it says, and Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married. Or we had married a Cushite woman. Now, is it against the law to marry an Ethiopian woman? To have a Cushite wife? No, absolutely not. Nowhere in the law. But if you're not meditating in the law, you're not studying the law, many of us would have been speaking out against Moses just as Miriam and Aaron did. The best thing they should have did is kept their mouth shut. Because if Moses was wrong about what he did, you know who corrected him? YAH, the Most High. Just like he did with the circumcision. YAH would have corrected him. And they said, have YAH indeed spoken only by Moses? Have you not spoken also by us? And YAH heard it. I said, man, we prophets and prophetesses too. We ordained to speak, to prophesy just as well as you. Matter of fact, we older than you. We your elders. And it said, YAH heard it. So now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And YAH spoke suddenly unto Moses and Aaron and Miriam. Come out, ye three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And YAH came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood and the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words, Israel. I want all Israel to hear this. If there be prophets today, prophets in the past, prophets in the future, I, YAH, will make myself known unto them in a vision or in a dream. Now let me ask this. Have y'all ever spoke to the Christ of the New Testament in a vision or dream? Did he ever make himself known unto Yahweh Shah in a vision or a dream? Or John the Baptist? Or the Prophet Muhammad in the Quran? And so give me the surah. And so give me the epistle. Give me the letter in the New Testament. You got 27 books in the New Testament. Show me anywhere where the Creator came to Christ in a vision. Or he spoke to him in a dream. Folks, it does not exist. Because there are no prophets in the New Testament. Period. There are no prophets in the Quran. And he said, my servant Moses, he's not so. I'm not going to come to him in a vision or a dream. He is faithful in all my house, my heavenly house, my earthly house. With him when I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches, in my form, similitude, my shape, shall he behold. Now, people today, they say that, yeah, he's just a spirit. You can't even see the Most High. Is that true? Can God be seen? Let me keep it in terms you can understand. Can the Most High be seen by man? Can you behold him? Huh? Or is it just a spirit? Now, the New Testament says he's an invisible God. Nobody can see him. Is that true? What does the Torah say? Who's been meditating in the Torah? Who could tell me? Can he be seen? You sure?
Yes, sir.
How you know?
Because Moses spoke with him face to face.
Because Moses spoke to him face to face. Go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 33rd chapter. No, go to Exodus chapter 33. Exodus, the 33rd chapter. And this has confused thousands of people, millions. They say, hold on, Brother Yoel. Don't the book say that y'all told Moses he can't see and live? I said, yes. Yes, it does say that. But every word of Elohim is pure. He's a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add down not to his word. He should reprove thee and doubt be found the lie. Yes, it does say that. But you missed out something very important in reading that. So when you go to Exodus the 33rd chapter, I stopped at the fact, first of all, that the Numbers 12 said the similitude of Yah did show you behold. When you look up similitude in Paleo Hebrew, and Paleo folks, not modern, not Yiddish, in Paleo, similitude means shape, his form, his pattern. And in Exodus the 33rd chapter, verse 10, it said, all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door. And all the people rose and worshiped, every man in his tent door. And Yah spoke unto Moses face to face, as a man speaking unto his friend. Now, how you speak unto your friend? Face to face. You look at it right in his face and you talk with it. Not over the telephone, not behind a wall. You speak to him face to face. And this is how Moses and Yah relationship was. Not in a vision or a dream. But this is what confused the people. When you go down to verse number 12. It said, and Moses said unto the Yah, see, thou sayest unto me, bring up this people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now the way that I might know thee, that I might find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, my presence shall go before thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said, if thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. For wherein shall it be known here that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not that thou goest with us? So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. Of Israel is a separated people, a holy people that has laws that separate them, holy articles that separate them, diet, laws of cleanliness, laws of holiness that separate you. It makes you holy. And Yah said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. And he said, I beseech thee, show me your face. Is that what Moses asked Yah? No. He already spoke to him face to face. What he asked Yahuwah, he said, show me your glory. And what he asked Yah had no man seen at this time, was Yah's glory. And Yah's glory is going to light up the whole earth in the last days. It won't be by the sun. It won't be by the light of the moon. Yah's glory is going to light up the whole earth according to scriptures. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee. And I will proclaim the name of Yah before thee. And I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious. And I will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, thou cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. Why? Because Yah's glory is now radiating. His glory is now shining. You cannot see Yah's face while he's in his glory. And Yah said, behold, there's a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass while my glory pass by, not my face, but my glory, that I will put thee in the cliff of the rock and cover thee with my hand. What? The mighty Yahuwah has a hand? I thought he was an invisible God. He has a face? I thought he was an invisible God. And he said, I will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away my hand. You're going to see my what? What? Yahweh has back parts? Are you kidding me? Now somebody got to be lying. Either the New Testament got to be lying. Either the Kohanes and Mores and leaders and people and students got to be lying, because all I heard all my life, he's just a spirit. And right here, the book is saying he got back parts. He has a hand. He has a face. And he covered Moses with his hand. And when he took away his hand, Moses saw his back parts. But his face couldn't be seen because his glory was shining. And as a result of this glory shining, this is what happened with Moses. In Exodus 34th chapter 10th verse. The 34th chapter of Exodus. He said, behold, I'll make a covenant before all the people, and I will do marvels, because I have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among whom thou art shall see the work of Yah, for it's a terrible thing that I will do with thee. Then as you read on down in Exodus, the 34th chapter. But this is what I want to show you about the glory of Yah, because this is what happened with Moses. We go to verse, let me find it for you, Because after Moses talked with Yah, go to Exodus chapter 34, verse number 29. It said, and it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from Mount, that Moses wished not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with them. And when Aaron and the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. And Moses called unto them, Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. And afterwards all the children of Israel came near, and he gave them in commandment all that Yah had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face, because his face was just glowing, because he was in the presence of Yah's glory. And this is what's going to light up the whole earth. And you know this to be true. What I'm telling you, if you go to the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter. Isaiah chapter 60. Isaiah chapter 60. And this is what is recorded. In the last days, it says in verse 19, the sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But Yah shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy Elohim thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, neither shall the moon withdraw itself. For Yah shall be thy everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people shall also be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. So this is future prophecy, folks. Yah's glory. And this is what Moses was in. And Yah, and he would have consumed him. Had he not hid, he would have covered him up with his hand. But why did Yah choose this man so much, love him so much? Go to the book of Numbers, the 15th chapter. Because this is what I took on once I read about this man. What I attempt to incorporate. Numbers, the 15th chapter. Numbers, the 15th chapter. The 32nd verse. It says, and while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks on the Sabbath day. And they found him gathering sticks. Brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation. And they put him inward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And Yah said unto Moses, this man should surely be put to death. Now, notice, what did Moses do? They locked him up. They put him away. They weren't presumptuous. They said, "What? Let me see what Yah got to say about this money that I found in this couch. What should I do with it? How should I handle this business, this situation?" They didn't go spending the money all up because their eyes got big. Like on Christmas Day, they could remember celebrating Christmas, and they seen all this money. No, they want to see what the law said first. And Moses and the people that found Aaron, they said, we don't know. So that we're going to put him away and see what Yah says about a person gathering sticks on the Sabbath. What did Yah say? You put him to death. Now, what else that occurred with Moses that Yah loved so much? Go to the book of Numbers, the 9th chapter. Numbers chapter 9. Line upon line. Doctrine upon doctrine. Numbers, the 9th chapter. It says, and Yah spoke unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the 2nd year, after they will come out of the land of Egypt, saying, let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at his appointed season. In the 14th day of this month at even, you shall keep it. In its appointed season, according to all the rights of it. Now, who's keeping the Passover today according to all the rights of it? Who's putting the blood on the doorpost of their house? Who's eating the Passover lamb, not breaking a bone of it, roasting it whole? Who's doing that today? Or is it a lamb that you got from the heathens? Lamb, half lamb, you don't know what it is. Lamb mixed with beef, lamb mixed with pork. You don't know what a lamb is. Lamb, was it slaughtered correctly? You eating a heathen's lamb. Was the blood drained out of it properly? He said, according to all the ceremonies of thereof, shall you keep it. Your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. That's part of the rites, part of the rituals. And Moses spoke unto the children of Israel, and they shall keep Pesach. And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even, in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all YAH commanded Moses. So what did the children of Israel? And there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, and they could not keep Passover on that day. And they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day. And those men said unto him, we are defiled by the dead body of a man. Wherefore we kept back that we may not offer an offering unto YAH in this appointed season amongst Israel. And Moses said, look at this. Stop. Drop. Hold down shop. Whoa. Whoa. Don't go no farther, Israel. You know what DMX said? Stop. Drop. Yeah, my beloved brother passed. And last time I seen him, he was listening to one of the Israelite brothers on the street corner. And they were doing their best trying to wake him up to who YAH and who he was. And that was the last time I seen him. But he's gone. May YAH have mercy on his soul. But nevertheless, he said, stand still. And I will hear what YAH will command concerning this. Before we move, before you talk about who you're going to marry and I'm marrying them, I'm marrying them, stand still. Don't be in a rush to get married, sisters. Brothers, don't be in a rush to get married because you're just lonely. Don't be in a rush to go into business with people and you don't know nothing about them. Know what gods they serve, what gods they worshiping. But you just in a rush to do this and do that. Stand still. Meditate, contemplate. Never allow action to precede thought. So we so used to doing and then thinking after we done it. Oh boy, I knew I shouldn't did that. Oh my God, what have I done? I knew I should. Oh boy, what I got myself into. Oh boy, I knew I should have waited. Oh boy. Is it too late for me to break the vow, Mikhail? Is it too late for me, y'all, to go with my oath? I done married this fool. Oh my goodness, I didn't know he's gonna be like Nabal. I done married a fool. I'm stuck with a fool like Abigail. Oh my God. I gotta put up with this fool now. Man, I gotta put up with this wretched woman now. Oh man, I didn't know her mouth was like this. I should have took more time, talk to her mother. See, if her mother's crazy, most likely she's crazy. Why wasn't I patient? I should have just waited. I was in a rush. Israel stayed. That's right, the mama's boy. I didn't know he was a mama's boy. I was running back to mama. Crying to mama. He's him. I didn't know he was him like this. I didn't know I could just order him around and anybody order him around. He don't even stand up for me. Oh my, what have I done? What have I done? Oh my God. How can I get out of this relationship? How can I find a reason for him to divorce me? Put me away quick. Let me get out of this. And a lot of times, because we don't stand still, we don't go inquire of YAH and see and get an answer from YAH. We don't be patient. And YAH told Moses, he gave Moses the answer. They keep Passover in the second month. And eat it with unleavened bread and eat it with bitter herbs. What else is it that y'all loved about this man? Go to Leviticus, the 24th chapter, see it's all throughout the book. He was meek, he was humble. But we rush. We so in a rush to do everything. Leviticus, the 24th chapter. You got a $1,400 mortgage, only bringing in $300 a week on your paycheck.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, say it again. You got a $1,400 mortgage, only bringing in $300 a week. Got a car note that you're trying to pay, and you're struggling. And you're struggling. I gotta have this house. We gotta have this house. You got that house. You got all this, but you didn't stand still and wait on y'all. Now you got ulcers, migraines. You buying this, buying that. Can't afford it. Be patient. Stand still and wait on y'all. You ever bought something that the next week you had to go pawn it? Oh. You bought something one week, next week it's in a pawn shop. How did that happen? How did that happen? Everything is in a pawn shop. You carrying all the TVs out your house to the pawn shop. Everything is going. Because we didn't stand still and say, we just took all our money. I gotta have it right now. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. But did you think about you gotta at least maintain it, because this land ain't living by the law of Yah where you get paid every day. They pay you bi-weekly. In most companies, if you ain't getting paid, if you get paid weekly, you get paid bi-weekly. So that money you gotta stretch that. And we live from paycheck to paycheck. Most African American families. But we're going out buying this, going out buying that. Not standing still and putting a little something away for the rainy day. We just go spend it. That's why we're the biggest consumers, the biggest spenders. But sometimes just stand still. In Leviticus, the 24th chapter. What happened in 11th verse? Leviticus 24:11. It says, and the Israelite woman's son blasphemed the name of Yah and cursed. And they brought him unto Moses. And his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Debri, of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in, that the mind of Yah might be showed there. See, all these times, Moses, he wasn't presumptuous, and Yah gave him the answer because he was patient and waited. He searched the matters out. And then Solomon said there's safety in a multitude of counsel. And then the scripture said, old men for counsel, young men for war. And if I want counsel, who I'm going to? The elders. I'm going to a young folk for counsel for. Don't have no experience in life. Young girls going to older women going to a young woman for counsel. Do that even seem right? Young man, old man going to a young man for counsel? No. You go to the elders for counsel. The hoary head, the anxious for counsel. Don't go to these young folks for no counsel. Not that they can't give you work, because they can. But it's not the order of things. And y'all had elders set up for a reason. There's a reason he told Moses to gather 70 of the elders of Israel. He didn't say gather 70 of the young whippersnappers. But the elders, people would experience the same things, the experience things in life. As Moses, he was not only a great prophet, the greatest prophet in Israel ever. And we know this to be true by going to the book of Deuteronomy, the 34th chapter. So you can see this why Yah entrusted this man with his holy articles. And Moses wasn't going to add to the law of Yah. He wasn't going to diminish from the law of Yah because he knew it was perfect. But no need for him to. And in Deuteronomy 34th chapter, it says, verse 10, and there arose not a prophetess in Israel like unto Moses, whom Yah knew face to face, and all the signs and wonders, although they drove him crazy. And all he did was pray for Aaron. After Aaron committed idolatry, he prayed for him. And Yah forgave Aaron. Prayed for his sister Miriam. After Yah cursed her and turned her into like Dolly Parton. And he prayed for his sister because Yah cursed her with leprosy. And Yah healed her. That's how great that man was. He was able to pray for the people that even spoke against him. Although they were speaking against him, he prayed for them. He mourned for them. He fasted for them. And they were Israel was particularly trying to kill him, trying to stone this man for all the good that he did for Israel. And then we go to Exodus, the 32nd chapter. Exodus 32. This man was so great, this we attempted to do for Israel. Exodus 32nd chapter. And we're going to start reading verse number. Exodus chapter 32. Verse number 30. It said, it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, you have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto YAH. Peradventure I shall make an atonement for your sin. I'm going to try to do what they say Christ did. YAH did. I'm going to try to make an atonement for your sin. Let's see what YAH said about this. And Moses returned unto YAH and said, oh, these people have sinned a great sin and have made them idols of gold. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if you don't, blot me, I pray thee, out of the book which you have written. Blot me out of the book of eternal life. Now, what man today would do that? How many people in here would ask y'all to blot them out of the book of life for Israel? Does anybody have that type of spirit? That you will give up your seat of salvation just for the children of Israel to live. And I'm talking about the rebels and all of them. Because he is going up to make an atonement for idolaters, for sinners, backbiters. Could you imagine asking to be blotted out of eternal salvation for somebody that tried to do you wrong? A cutthroat? Plotted to scheme and kill you and take your life? Who got a spirit to ask YAH, do you take me out of the book of salvation for the man, and you say the person that slandered me? You say the man that committed adultery with my wife. You say the man that stole and coveted and cheated and lied. Worship Christ. Bow down to Allah. And I want you to forgive him. YAH. That's how much I love your people, oh YAH. Don't destroy them. Preserve them. Give them a place in the land. And if you don't, blot me out of the book of salvation. I tell y'all right off the bat, I don't have that type of spirit to even to do that. No, ain't no way. No way, Jose. And y'all told Moses, therefore now go. He first they said, and y'all said unto Moses, whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. The person that break my law, that go against my ordinances, I'm gonna blot out of my book. Now, since we spoke on the law and how perfect and how righteous and how holy it is, converting the soul, and we know where the laws can be found at, let me ask you this question. How many of us allow our relatives and people to pray over our food before we eat it? And is it okay? Is it not okay? I mean, you're hungry. You've been on a long road of traveling. On the road, you ain't ate nothing in 2 days. Car broke down, you've been walking. A man got some water. Now we know what the scripture said about water and food. You give him some food, give him drink and water. Give him water, drink, and food to eat, right? Did Solomon say that? Even if your enemy, right? Now, what if somebody prayed over the food before they gave it to you? What if your in-law, hey, come here, baby, you know you ain't ate nothing in a few days now. Let grandma feed you. And you're over grandma's house. Your children over grandma's house. Do they know the law? Your grandma's an idolater. uncle is an idolater. And what do? Is it law, by Torah law, to eat food that somebody done prayed over in the name of their deity? Or is it okay? It's just food to eat. And you hungry. You ain't ate now, Almighty God can hold you responsible for being hungry and eating. Or what? Who said this? Just raise their hands. Who said this? It's not okay. It's not okay. Who said it is okay? Who by way of internet said it's not okay? And who said it's okay? Well, let's see what y'all say. In Exodus, the 34th chapter. Verse 14. He said, for thou shalt worship no other God, no other deity, no other idols. For Yahweh's name is jealous. It's a jealous Allah. And he's so he even looking down, seeing, watching to see what you're doing. He's proving, testing. He said, at least I'll make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land. And they go a whoring, and you go a whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods. And one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. You eat of it. You eat of it. So you say you can't eat of it. Now let me ask you this. Can you take a gift from an idolater? Come on now, Israel, the law keepers. Keepers of the law. I'm asking a question. Can Israelite take a gift from an idolater? And I'm not dealing with Christmas. Can you take a gift? Who said you can't? Just a gift. They said, I got a gift to give. I brought something for you. And I want you to have it. I brought you this shirt. I know we was at the store shopping together, and you just loved it. And grandma just wanted to buy it for you, baby. In the name of the Lord. Mm-hmm. Grandma just wanted to get it for you, baby. Mama just wanted to buy it for my baby. And I brought you this coat. I know you need a coat. It's cold. And it's 100%. And I know, you trying to keep the law of the mighty, what you call it? Yahweh? Yahuwah? And it's cold, baby. I know the coats you got is mingled. But mama done brought you 100% coat, garment. And I thank the Lord for giving me the means and the money to be able to do it for you, baby. Praise the Lord Christ. Is it wrong? Is it wrong to take that coat? Yes.
Just for clarification for my understanding, I want to answer that question. But are you saying that they're giving it to you just as a gift without saying that it's from blessed by their God?
No, I'm saying they let you know. They let you know right there. They're gonna let you know anyway that it's their God that blessed them to get what they got. I don't know a Christian that don't bless Christ in the name of Christ for what they got. So we bless y'all for what we got. So the blessings they get, they think it's coming from Christ, but we know all the blessings come from Yah. But they blessed it in the name of Christ. And the gifts they buy you, the presents they buy you, they say, hey, take this, whether it's a watch, a shirt, some money, they give it to you. Say, bro, I know you need this. I know you fall on a hard time. Here's $100. And God made, he made the sweet Lord made a way for me to have it. And I'm here to bless you because I know what the book say. The good book say, bless them that bless thee, and I'll be blessed. And I want to bless it. I want to bless it from the Lord. He just called the Lord JESUS. That's his Lord. And he want to bless you in the name of his Lord JESUS with this gift. Is it wrong to take it? Is it wrong to take that gift? Who wouldn't take it? Who wouldn't take it? So don't nobody take gifts from family members and relatives. Nobody take gifts from their employers on the job. That's what y'all telling me? Nobody, employer that eats matter of fact, he's a white racist that owns a company. The biggest idolaters. And he's gonna bless you with some bonus money. You can say it's yours. But he said, I'm giving you this bonus In the name of my sweet Lord Christ. Sweet Lord. Sweet Lord. But you saying that's my bonus, that's my money. I work for that. But he comes out. I know you, Israel, and I hear you. I hear what you're saying, Israel. But I'm here to let you know I'm blessed. This is a blessing from the Lord. Because the Lord done blessed me in this company. This company done increased our revenue. And we're here to bless you today. And we're going to bless you in the name of the Lord. Here's your check, $2,000. Now we know you earned it. I know you earned it. I know you, Israel. I know you know how you all think and you know how you all work. But I'm just letting you know how I work, and the Lord works through us too. And he's working through me today to give you this $2,000. Who's not going to take it? Who said it's wrong to take it? So is it wrong to take a gift? Huh? Huh? You who going to take it?
I'm gonna take it.
Michael, you going to take it? You're going to take that gift. Yeah, you're going to take that gift.
Might use a heathen to bless you any day.
He was a heathen to bless you any day.
We go down to the utility, them heathens. We go.
So he the bless, huh?
We got
Say that again.
in one of all things.
Let me say that what do the heathens do when the utilities get cut off? Who run to the heathens? Because they can't go to Israel. Huh? Who run to the Christian organizations? Who's filling up the churches in these Christian organizations? Israel. When the electric get cut off, they go to the heathens. Water bill. What is it? St. Vincent? Salvation Army. Huh? So you gotta have a balance. Y'all said you gotta be true. Because you ain't true with yourself. You ain't be true with nobody else. And I'm not here to play judge with nobody. YAH is the judge. And you gotta have a perspective on this law and how you see the law. Because people see the law differently. YAH told the judges don't take a gift, for the gift blinded the words of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. But people will read that and say, you're not to take a gift at all.
Right.
You understand? He's talking about in judgment.
That's right.
Don't take a gift. Solomon took gifts. Daniel took a gift from Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar gave him a gold chain about his neck. Yourself he got gifts from the Pharaoh. Pharaoh put a ring on his finger.
Yep.
And who the Pharaoh serves? They serve their gods. So you got to have perspective on things. How you look at things. Because you could be turning away something that is a blessing and thinking it's a curse. Because y'all do work through the heathens as well. Yes.
Who leaves this? My friend has a question. He wants to know, why does it seem like people who are not serving y'all seem to have everything they need?
It seems like that, don't it, brother? And you're not the only one that's recorded in the book of Psalms, the 73rd chapter. But the psalmist said, until he went into the sanctuary of Elohim, he understood their eating. It seemed that way. That they prospering. And also Psalm 37, you can read that. It talks about how the ungodly prosper. YAH allowed them to prosper. He allowed them. Until that one day come, where all of it's gone in a matter of a blink of an eye. And they don't have nothing left. And the only reward they're gonna get, according to YAH, is everlasting burdens. Everlasting burdens. So don't get blinded by what the wicked have. The wicked spreaded himself like a green bay tree. And all the material that will get you. It looks good. And that will get the young folks. They see all the gold flashing, all the fancy clothes, and that will get them. And when I get them, it's gone. That was so important to know YAH in this law. Because that was going to preserve you. See, money is for a time in the season under the sun. All that's for a time in the season. But YAH is forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Right.
The money y'all said, wherever you go, I will be with you. Can't no money deliver you from death. The what men will take billions of dollars just to stay alive. Y'all said, if I ain't with you, you ain't, you going. You going. So don't be deterred by that, by my beloved brother. Stay with Yah, and you're gonna have a reward, like Psalm 19 said. In keeping of the law, there is great reward. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise God.
And with that being said, we're gonna adjourn to 4 p.m., 4 p.m. or 4:05 p.m., and come back and conclude at 6 p.m. And we're not gonna do the question after. We're gonna do that once a month. We're not gonna do that every week. Just once a month is enough. We deal with the questions that people have on the law. We're not gonna deal with that every week. Because Israel was asked you questions that not even on your subject matter. After you done told them. Only on the subject matter. So we're only gonna do that once a month. So with that being said, let us stand and adjourn for this portion. And this is one thing that I'm gonna read that we don't forget, that the teachers don't forget to read this. Because we want to bless Israel. Numbers, the 6th chapter. And it says, and Yah spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron, and his sons, say, on this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yah bless thee and keep thee. Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Hallelujah.
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 Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. And let Yah be magnified. And we will be back at 4:05 p.m. Shalom, shalom. Yeah. Okay.